We go. Yo, what is up, everybody? We are back once again with the weekly podcast, as you guys are well aware. I hope you guys are all doing well. We got many questions that were asked, and of course, you can ask, live. For all you guys watching live or watching the recording, make sure to hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the sub button as well. We had a lot of individuals in the last stream, obviously because of the topics that were discussed. But if you're new, make sure to hit the sub button. We bring a lot of content. Give me a second to let the people know we are currently live, and we shall begin with these topics. There's a ton of them, actually, so I appreciate all the questions. Make sure to ask questions ahead of time if you want them answered in depth. You can ask them, comment in this video. You can join my Discord, ask them there. We do go more in depth when we have more time to prepare for them, so just give me a
Yes,
second.
sir.
Yeah,
You know it.
So make sure to do that if you do want your questions answered. What's going on, Phantom Realm? Thanks for coming in, brother.
Hey, what's
Sick
up, bud?
background. Oh yeah, I decided to put that the Itachi GIF there. You can never go wrong with Itachi. Give me a second. Let the people know, and we shall begin. There is one thing I want to address, folks, that I think must, especially in this community, before we get to the questions. By the way, it's a very interesting topic. Give me a second though. Let them know that we're live real quick. And begin asking your questions, folk, here if you want. We'll get to them as well. Super chat questions take priority. Become a member, and you'll get priority there as well as member-only videos where I dissect debates for the most part.
There, got some bangers on there too, bro.
Yeah, I actually enjoy the dissections of these debates for sure. All right, I'm about to let them know. Okay.
Phantom, my dude.
What's going on, Lil Pavio? Thanks for coming in, brother. Is that Batman? He might join us later on. He's busy right now.
He should be in later.
Yeah.
You guys can call me Shinobi or just Sean.
Oh yeah.
if you
So
like.
we got Batman and we got Shinobi. So you guys know all our names.
Yes, sir.
All right. So before we begin these questions, I've seen this too many times to the point where I want to address this in the anime community, and I would say just in any field of discussion, and that's speaking in absolutes. It's problematic to speak in absolutes, and here's why. So, due to fallacious appeal to emotion, like I said, I consistently see anime fans speak on contentious, ambiguous topics in absolutes as if they really could prove 100% objectively that their premise is fact, despite the limited datums that are out there, or empirical evidence that is out there. It is illogical and disingenuous, or blatantly ignorant if you don't know what you're doing, to do so, as via Popper's falsifiability principle, which aka means your premise is theoretical, hence it is falsifiable. Because of that, you cannot categorize your premise as fact, but rather so theoretical at best. So, in the very fact that your premise is theoretical in nature suggests that it is falsifiable and not objectively 100% fact. So, take Itachi versus Pain, for example. It's fine to establish a claim and present your theory, but you cannot consider your claim as fact, but like I said, rather only a theory. The very fact, like I said, that you have only a theory indicates that you cannot classify as factual, right? So continuing on. If you want to be a respected entity, right, which I'm sure many of us do, in any such said field of intellectual discussion, you have to acknowledge the limitations of your deductions and premises. I personally disregard premises that clearly originate from an appeal to emotion, as it is clear that there is very little logic and deduction involved when forming these type of premises, such as saying, oh, it's absolutely sure that Itachi bodies Pain. Like, no. Or vice versa. Pain slams Itachi and there's no way to possibly rebuke my claim. No, that's absolutely incorrect. Your claim and my claim are both falsifiable. We can have a verbal clash. There's nothing wrong with that. But you cannot simply just say that my claim is fact, hence I'm right, and end of discussion. No, it's falsifiable. This is all theoretical. And in fact, science works the same way. Theories, that's how ideas originate. They originate as theories. You can't go to the scientific community and say, oh, I discovered a star, so hence A must equal B, hence this is a fact. Let's go ahead and write this in the scientific literature. No, that's not the way it works. There's a scientific method. You must establish, experimental trials to prove your hypothesis. And in anime, it's even worse because it's a fictional-based reality. There is no such thing as, oh, let me prove that this is true with experimentation and observation. You can't, because we're not in that reality. So the best you could do is extrapolate empirical evidence and then suggest your premise, which will always be theoretical. Unless the writer himself comes out and agrees with you, It's not a fact, whether you want to admit that or not. So continuing on. Ironically, epistemic humility is an important prerequisite to become a respected entity of intellect and to really reach your potential as far as logic is concerned. So possessing the antithesis of this, which is just fallacious arguments and logic, will simply make others not respect you or take you serious. I really don't take people serious that speak in absolutes, especially on very, very contentious topics. Now, if I want to be pedantic, technically in anime, almost everything's theoretical, even things that aren't contentious. But I'm not going to go that far. It's fine for you to say 1010 absolutely gets demolished by Madara. We can all agree with that. I'm not going to say, oh, you can't say that because you can't 100% objectively prove it. Technically, you can't, but we can all agree, damn near, that's absolute. That's fine.
Yeah.
But to go out and say, oh, Pain absolutely demolishes Itachi, there's just no way to prove me wrong. No, that's disingenuous or just blatantly ignorant. Or vice versa. If I go out here and say Itachi absolutely destroys Nagato, and that's 100% fact, I'm being disingenuous, and you shouldn't take me serious. So I had to really just get my thoughts on that, because I see this all the time. This is very disingenuous.
Man. There's a reason why there are hypotheses and theories in the first place until we come up with empirical evidence to support this notion of our theories. Then it can't really come to fruition without that in the first place. And in our universe, for example, we can come up with a theory, but it's not universally accepted as factual until it's accepted on an international level as well.
Yeah.
So that's when a theory becomes a theorem.
Exactly.
In a fictional universe, it's based off of fiction, obviously. So to say that your premise or hypothesis is absolute is fallacious in technicalities. So
yeah, exactly.
And we really revere that more often.
Yeah, and to be specific, if you're in a verbal clash or in a debate, fine. You should speak in absolutes to triumph with your stance. That's fine because it's in the moment, and the very parameters established imply that you need to win on your stance. That's fine. I won't blame you for saying, yeah, Itachi wins, because you're trying to win the verbal dispute. That's fine. Yeah. If you're in a discussion, though, saying, oh, you're a dumbass because you think Itachi might beat Pain, that can never happen. Like, dude, come on, man. Open your eyes. Or maybe you're just out blatantly ignorant and you don't understand logic. Maybe that's what it is. And if that's the case, then touch up on your philosophy if that's the case. Let's read some of these chats. What's going on? Yellow Flash, Random, what's going on? Kyle, Legend, Satanic VT, Chidori, Marcus, a verbal clash. Yeah, it's a good way to paint.
I mean, that's why we debate in the first place, right? Like, you have your premise, and then we have scaling or narrative analysis or whatever it may be.
Yeah, the very fact that debates exist is because of ambiguity. That's the very fact that they're there. That's the very fact that they exist. So it's very disingenuous to suggest that you can speak in absolutes on these things. Yeah, people are too arrogant with their absolutism. Absolutely. Yeah, that is exactly this to sum up what we just said. That's the problem. Yeah, all you can do is give scaling and feats to try to convince people to agree with you. For fictional scenarios, there are no absolutes unless authors stated precisely. Yeah, the absolutism is very, very uncommon in fictional-based reality where there is limitations to what we can establish. That's exactly correct. Jay, can you name 15 Naruto Boruto characters that can beat Three-Eyed Madara? 15?
Oh, 15?
That's quite a bit. Naruto, Sasuke, Ishiki, Momoshiki, Kinshiki, more than likely Kaguya. I could give it to the Kage as well, because they were able. Well, a couple of them were able to not compete, but even deal some damage to Kinshiki and Momoshiki. So I guess I could give them the benefit of the doubt. Who else would be up there?
The inners as well, like Boro.
The inners that are stated canonically to have war potential of the likes of Hokage Naruto. So I think that's 15 around there. I should be close to it. 10-10 one-shots Madara. Exactly, so.
Oh, obviously. Yeah. 10-10's a go, bro.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to put my soundboard on. Give me a second, folks. Where's my soundboard at? I forgot about that.
Everyone shout out to the stream. Throw a like if you can.
Yeah, make sure to hit the... Where is it? The like button, folks, if you haven't already. Make sure to hit the like button.
What we doing?
Yeah, for sure. The more likes, the better. The more we go up in the algorithm, the more people, feast their eyes on hopefully a fruitful discussion. Can you do a video on Part 1 characters who could possibly join the Akatsuki? That's an interesting concept. It's an interesting concept.
that can join. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
that
definitely.
would meet the prerequisites, I suppose.
Criteria. Yeah, for sure.
Objectively, Kisame is one of the weakest Akatsuki members, though. Yeah, that's an example of absolutism that is just blatantly comical. Um,
Yeah, that is hilarious.
yeah,
Or Kakuzu is absolutely above him.
yeah, like Kakuzu beats pain because of raw durability. That's not that goes beyond absolutism. That's just blatantly ratty.
Yeah, you're just trolling at that
Yeah.
point, bro. Come on.
5 characters that could potentially join the Akatsuki Part 1 only. That would be interesting.
Well, it would be because we'd have to see why they would be motivated to do so in the first place, though.
Yeah. One thing to also consider with anime is that be happy we have such great and amazing storytelling that could bring more people around the world to combine and love the same thing. Yeah, anime definitely gathers the masses, the populace, despite the region that they originate from, their linguistics. It brings everyone together because ideologies transcend regions, they transcend culture. For the
It's
most part.
refreshing, man, in
Yeah,
my perspective, because like it's like seeing all this like cool historical lore that like influenced animes like Naruto or Bleach, for example. Like it's
exactly. Yeah,
really neat to like see that portrayed in something that you find entertaining,
exactly.
and it's supposed
Yeah,
to be super noble, and there's so much like pride and all these great wholesome qualities that these characters exhibit.
yeah,
Something that we can like really look up to and appreciate. So it is a good thing to like have that brings us all together collectively.
yeah, exactly. So folks, now we'll begin questions. If you super chat, we'll stop and answer yours. If you're a member, we'll answer yours. Yeah. So let's go to the first one here. Someone asked, "What if Naruto had the Renegon from the start?" Interesting question. But I would say I can go first. Simply put, being the reincarnation of Ashura, it's probable that Naruto would already possess six past powers. Because if he has a Renegon, it's implied. So it's possible. Again, this is theoretical, but also he'd most likely be a prodigy during his youth. Obviously, having a Renegon at that age in his youth would result in him being insanely powerful. And most antagonists up until the war wouldn't stand a chance against him. Let alone with he already has a Ninetales with him. That's always a trump card for him. Like it was against
that's what I was
Pain.
gonna say.
But on top of that, he has a Renegon. So he'd be absolutely a monster. The Akatsuki would have trouble. They would probably need the big boys to come out and try to take him.
His rate of progression would be exponential compared to what we saw in the original timeline. His
Oh yeah,
variety of jutsus, the hacks abilities, the running on, he would access
yeah. The
easily.
events that transpired would be greatly different and altered by that. I don't know if you want to
He
give
has
your
so much
thoughts on that as well.
chakra.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has so much chakra already. It wouldn't be detrimental to him. He has
exactly.
drama as well.
Yep.
So I mean,
Yep.
like people like Zabuza and like Haku in part one wouldn't be much of an issue.
Not
I'd
at all.
imagine.
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah. They'd be
So
fodder actually.
it's a completely different story, guys. Just letting you know right now.
Exactly. Um. Also, ranking the fathers in Naruto from weakest to strongest. That's interesting as well.
Fathers, huh?
Fathers. Naruto, Sasuke,
Okay.
Shibai. Shibai obviously would Jigen, Momoshiki, Kaguya, Kinshiki, Inners, 5 Kages, Boruto, Kawaki Code, Damon, Madara strong as hell, but none against these guys. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Who has the better character design? All versions of Sasuke or Obito? Who overall has the better? Oh damn, that's kind of difficult.
Sasuke.
Probably Sasuke. Obito's pretty. He looks pretty cold in his masks, like the white one.
Yeah.
But Sasuke has a pretty cool design as well.
Sasuke has some drip, bro. You
Yeah,
know
he has
what I'm
real
saying?
drip. He has real drip for sure. I probably would lean. They both have drip, but I would lean towards Sasuke. Let's go to the next question though. Someone asked, "What role do you think Ida and Damon will now play with Kawaki sealing Boruto away?" Okay. Now this is clearly just a hypothesis, but from what we can currently extrapolate from the current empirical evidence, Ida and Damon, I think, will play somewhat of anti-hero roles. As we know, Ida's infatuated by Kawaki, which I think is a stupid premise and overall purpose to continue living on, but whatever.
Yeah.
And Damon is loyal to Ida, being her little brother. So I would say most likely they'd probably help Kawaki deal with Code and the Ten Tails clones. So I think they're going to serve that kind of role. Honestly, there's not much character development wise for me to go any more in depth than that. They're pretty surface level in my opinion, in comparison to someone like Madara with real ideological claims and premises on how reality works. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree though. Like Ida, her only motive right now is essentially finding love. Like she's tired of like I guess
Yeah.
people like always being infatuated by her natural abilities, and because Kawaki is already Atsuki-fied essentially,
Right.
he
Yeah.
doesn't have that like overwhelming like infatuation for her. So like that's the reason why she's chasing him. But it's
Yeah.
just so superficial, like you
It
said.
is like
There's
we,
no lore behind Ida or Damon. I personally don't care about
we
them at
went
all.
from Madara having one of the most complex and I would say even understandable ideologies to fucking Ida who just wants Kawaki's dick. Like, come on, man. Like the change in
Except Nation, bro. You
yeah, the
know, it's
change
fine
in
with
lore,
Naruto.
the decrease in development of lore. It's very very disappointing.
Hmm.
So I really don't take it serious. People are
As you
yeah,
shouldn't.
honestly. Sasuke has better character design. Obito, I agree. I don't like when people say that Naruto is filled with plot holes. It makes me feel like they don't pay attention. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's filled with plot holes. I think that's a stretch.
Yeah, there are like little things that could be easily like overseen or
Yeah,
like
there are
you
little
can
things.
nitpick at it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
but to say they're filled with them, no, it wouldn't have the popularity they have today if that was the case. Yeah,
definitely not, bro. Yeah, exactly. If it was too obvious, people wouldn't like fuck with the narrative at all. Essentially, you know.
yeah, they're kids, bro. I mean, yeah, they're kids, but come on, give us some better writing than that. Give us a compelling purpose for your actions, not just I want Kawaki's dick. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's why you
Whether
would
they're
help
kids or
out.
not, like I don't care if they're kids. People are too quick to say plot. Like Naruto, he's a fucking kid. He had one of the best purposes to carry on I've ever seen in any anime ever. And he's a kid.
Literally, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that characters need to be realistic to be good, or do you think it's just more appealing from a story standpoint? I think there's benefits to both.
Yeah.
There's benefits to both. We have characters like Itachi or Aizen that like transcend, a human, and they're bigger than life type of characters. But then we have Naruto, who's extremely relatable. I think there's benefits to both. Me personally, I enjoy the relatable characters a little more, but that's from my own subjective lens. Yeah,
I personally, yeah, I agree. It's nice to have someone that like you can relate to because like you kind of like feel more immersed in watching the content you are at the time. But there is something about like witnessing or just like favoring characters that are out of what you're capable of. It's something that's just like so far fetched and so like mysterious and whimsical and just like dope that like it can be very attractive in that sense as well. You
right.
know,
Yeah,
so there are definitely benefits to both sides. You
I
know.
agree. Yeah. Um, do you think if Sarada got an MS, she would be more beneficial for the Leaf in terms of defense? Of course, her tangible aspects would increase. She'd be more powerful, probably to a significant extent. Um, Now, would she
I'm
be?
intrigued to see how she unlocks it. You know.
Yeah. Now, my question is, how powerful will the writers allow her to be? If they want her to be relevant, they're gonna have to make her quite powerful. Very, very powerful, actually. I don't think Shibai is strong, to be honest. I'm underestimating until he shows feats. That's fair, I suppose, if you don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt yet.
Yeah, it's just lore at this
It's
point,
just
right?
lore right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Vegeta ruined do you guys think Vegeta ruined the top heavy trope of Dragon Ball? The top heavy trope?
Top heavy trope. What trope exactly?
Yeah, you can explain that more. Oh shit! Shout out to Sir Jeets, man. The goat once
The
again has
goat.
returned.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that, brother. Let me put I'm a man of my word. Let me put your donation on the screen real quick, and I shall answer.
Penance stare. Interesting.
Give me a second here,
How's it going,
folks.
Jeets?
Thanks for coming in, Jeets. Give me a second here, and we shall continue. Put this on the screen. Find it real quick.
Have you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist, Jay, by chance?
Actually, I haven't. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
So fucking good, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
there's definitely a ton of
Classic.
that. There's a ton of
Oh
like
yeah.
anime I must catch up on. There's a ton of them.
Brotherhood was so good, man.
Yeah, Full
Cool,
Alchemist and
cheers.
like the newer gens as well. Bunch of things I gotta
Uh-huh.
catch up on. All right, folks, put this on the screen. Where is it? There it is. All right, so yo Jay, I got an interesting question. Ghost Rider's Penance Stare versus Itachi Tsukuyomi. I'm not familiar with that, but let me look up Ghost Rider because you did donate your
Yeah, I'm doing
goat.
that now.
Let me
Yeah.
see Penance. Let's see what it consists of. Pen Stare. Okay. is a supernatural ability that incapacitates victims and is only performed by the spirits of vengeance or Ghost Rider. When close in combat, the Ghost Rider locks eyes with his opponent and induces self-mortification by imposing him or her every negative actions, behavior, and sensation and sins the pain of others that an individual has ever committed in their lifetime. Oh, so it's basically forcing them to see the flaws that they have. Similar to have the soul-searing effect of Hellfire.
Yeah.
An interesting ability. That's an interesting ability. Let me read the question real quick again. So if we're comparing, or what's more powerful? If we're comparing, Itachi has more reach as far as what he can do with his. I mean, he can control the very reality that he kind of puts you into. So overall, I would say Itachi's is the more well-rounded ability. Not to say Ghost Rider's is not. It's obviously quite difficult to have to see yourself for the worst things you've ever done. And I'm implying it has some sort of physical effect as well. But I would probably lean towards Itachi's being more effective, since he has complete control.
The interesting thing though about the penance there I'm reading is that, like you said, the soul searing effect of Hellfire. So it's like actual tangible pain that one's experiencing while being in the Genjutsu, essentially. So that's pretty heavy duty. But
that's heavy duty stuff. Yeah.
Like you said, Itachi can literally control the reality that you're under the illusion of. It could be beneficial. It could be extremely malevolent. He has complete control, and it happens so fucking fast too. So
yeah, that's like picosecond speed. Dominance. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's interesting. I think it's pretty interesting. I don't know if you want to go on this one first. This one is why do you guys even think Kisame is top half of the Akatsuki? Someone asked that.
Well, number one, he stated that the largest chakra of anyone in the Akatsuki, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's impressive.
The fact that he went against Killer B was quite impressive. The amount of chakra he can absorb. Killer B is, relative to KCM1 Naruto, and KCM1 Naruto in the whole series is one of the, until the later half, he's like one of the strongest characters we see.
Yeah.
The only reason why he got beat was because he was facing at this Kryptonite and Mike Guy, and Mike Guy.
Of course, yeah, too, of course. So. Oh shit, Kedrick Adams with $5. I appreciate that, brother. That deserves a. All right, let's read your question real quick and we'll continue. Killer B versus Orochimaru full power. Interesting question. Orochimaru full power versus Killer B. So it depends on your interpretation of Orochimaru. If you literally consider Soigetsu's statement hyperliteral, then Orochimaru scales to above every version of Sasuke until EMS. If that's the case, then it's maybe a fight. Killer B, at best, scales to the Raikage. They seem to be someone relative or heavily implied to be so. It's a tough one to scale. Orochimaru's a tough guy to scale.
Especially with the Edos,
Yeah, with Edos, obviously he'll win, clearly. But without...
Yeah,
who do you think wins this one? Killer B or Orochimaru full power?
Well, honestly, I'm probably going to go with Killer B without the Edos, man, to be honest. I'm not taking Orochimaru to be EMS Sasuke, like, hyper literally at all.
Yeah, I don't as well. I don't.
And then EMS Sasuke is supposed to be relative to KCM1. KCM1 is relative to Killer B. Killer B and the Raikage are all relative. So that
empirically,
makes sense in terms of scaling.
Yeah, empirically, KCM and Killer B are, yeah.
But Orochimaru has Edos and,
Oh, yeah, he has Edos, then of course. But one-on-one, I'd probably, empirically, from what we can deduce, or at least induce, probably Killer B.
I agree, bro.
Yeah.
I don't see what he can do to really stop him, honestly,
exactly.
Besides that, yeah.
How many characters can move at light speed? Now, that's a hell of a question. That would take quite some time. What's up, Jay? What's going on, Nio? Killer B stops Orochimaru. That's a contentious one. I do acknowledge that.
It is.
It's definitely contentious.
Not like super easy to say who wins.
It's not. It's not an easy one to deduce at all. Let's see here.
Again, nothing's absolute, guys.
Yeah, so going back to that one, I guess I'll give my take on Kisame, why he's the top half. Empirically, he just has the more impressive feats. So here's what we can say safely. Itachi, Obito, and Nagato scale above him. Absolutely. Not absolutely, I should not say absolutely, but definitely more than likely scale above him. We know that for sure. They just have more impressive feats. They're implied to be the top of the power hierarchy within the Akatsuki. The only one that you could contend Kisame being above is probably Sasori. Sasori. Well, shit, shout out to Shinobi himself.
Yes, sir.
Oh shit, sure Jeets
Hey,
as
there we
well.
go.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
Goat's back. All right, let's read this real quick. Actually, let me put you guys on the screen real quick. But you could answer it first if you want. While I put it on the screen, his
Okay,
question.
what if Naruto was evil and he ran up to the five Kage summit instead of Sasuke? So we're talking about, yeah, Kage summit. Yeah, so we're talking about Sage Naruto at that time, correct? So if he was evil and he ran up to the five Kage summit, Okay, well, the way I would see that going down is Pain Arc Naruto would definitely scale above the Kage at that time, honestly. I could see it being a problem if they try to collectively join forces against him, but that would just like pretty much end the story right there, if you will.
Yeah.
He's clearly above Tsunade. He was a Hokage at that time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Tsunade was like relative to the right Kage in terms of AP, if not more, obviously.
Yeah.
Onoki's a sav, you know what I mean, with this particle dismantling jutsu, but I don't think he's fast enough to even catch Naruto with that either.
I doubt it.
And then I don't see any way they could really stop him, to be honest.
If Naruto was evil, okay, so if he was there instead of Naruto,
Sasuke instead of Sasuke.
instead of Sasuke, yeah. The only thing is the comparisons people make between Sage Mode Naruto and Five Kage Summon Sasuke. Sasuke is implied to be more powerful than Sage Mode Naruto by Naruto himself when he says he needs the Kyuubi to beat him. So Naruto would be a problem, more than definitely. Do I think he'd be able to deal with the Raikage in terms of speed? That's very, very contentious. And based off his statement, after seeing it blinded Sasuke, damn near blind, and saying that he needs the Kyuubi to beat him, I would lean towards him having trouble with the Raikage speed.
I agree.
If we really want to if we want to be technical, he would have probably a Nine Tails Rampage anyway, and they'd all be fucked at that point.
No, absolutely.
But besides that, I don't think he'd be able to deal with the Raikage overall. But that's a tough one. I would say he'd probably die there though, or he rampages and everyone's fucked, like Nine Tail Rampage. So, let's see here. Yeah,
so Kage die, and that's just so bad.
Yeah, it would end very, very badly. But going back to Kisame, he has more empirical evidence to suggest that he scales above most of the Akatsuki. Like I said, besides obviously Itachi, Obito, and Nagato. Sasori is the only one you can kind of contend that being the case, because Sasori scales to Hanzo. If you take Chiyo's statements about her stalemating Hanzo and her calling Sasori the best puppet user we've ever seen. So I'd probably say that I wouldn't call you crazy if you put Sasori above him. I wouldn't say so. That's debatable for sure. Now, Killer Bee being defeated by Kisame is a very impressive feat that I don't think anyone else in the Akatsuki even has close to as impressive of a feat. So we have Hidan and Kakazu. Kakazu, had to contend with base Sharingan Kakashi. Got caught off guard by fucking Naruto with the Rasen Shuriken. Not off guard, but he got blitzed by Naruto with the Rasen Shuriken. So that implies where he scales at. I doubt he scales to a perfect Jinchuriki like Killer Bee. Hidan as well, he's inferior to Kakazu, which we see empirically as well, based off his performance against Kakashi in Taijutsu. He didn't even land a fucking scratch on Kakashi, let alone compete with him. So yeah, he definitely does not scale to Killer Bee. Absolutely not. Continuing on, Konan got her ass whipped very quickly by Jiraiya. Jiraiya was just in base. If you really want to interpret Zetsu as being Jubidar level, sure, he stabbed Jubidar in the back. I just think that's a little disingenuous. But some people actually think that he scales to him when he's like scared shitless of other people weaker than him. So I don't really agree with that. Who else is out there? Datara.
Konan. Yep.
Datara he's relative to Heavy Sasuke. Oh shit, $5 from Colin Murphy. I appreciate that, brother. Thanks for the $5. So empirically, Kisame has the advantage over all those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, he has like this incredibly just broken ability where he can literally just absorb who knows how much chakra essentially from any of his opponents, whether it be from Samehada or just like Water Prison Dome, which encompasses a huge radius of the surrounding battleground. He has adequate speed, reactionary durability, like the fact that he survived his heart being, you know what I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
hit
Exactly.
is he's a sap. So like take the other Akatsuki members that Jay just said for reference and see how you would do against them essentially, and just how arsenal and just like tangible abilities really play a factor in ranking these Akatsuki members. You know.
Yeah. Let's see what Kyle said again. Thanks for the $5, brother. Do you plan to make original versus battles on your channel like Six and Swag? Yeah, we made one. It's like on the top of my channel. It was Sasuke versus Jiraiya. We
Yes,
did that
sir.
one. I thought it was pretty well done, and we definitely will do more. Absolutely. Also, would the Death Note work on the same people like Kaga and Orochimaru? Would the Death Note work on those
On one
individuals?
name people, so
Oh,
it's
one
only
name.
one name. Yeah.
Mm, that's a good question, right? Because
Well, Kaguya has the last name of Tutsuki, right? So
yeah, she does have a last name. Orochimaru, his last name's like unknown. I know the
yeah.
Death Note specifies like you need to identify the specific individual you're trying to eliminate. I'm pretty sure it specifies that rule if I remember correctly. So Orochimaru, it's contentious. Maybe it wouldn't work because you would need his full legal name for it to work. And maybe there's another Orochimaru out there, and the Death Note can't decipher who's who. So
Yeah,
maybe
dude.
not. Maybe not Orochimaru. Maybe not Orochimaru. I think that's actually a rule, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've seen Death Note, but I believe that was one of the
Unless he
rules.
had like the Shinigami eyes and could see his actual name through that too, but that's like the only way I could say
Yeah,
to really
exactly.
get his last name.
Exactly. If he
You
had the
know?
eyes, he would be able to see all the information necessary.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on. Feel free to keep asking questions, folks. Thanks to all the guys donating. You guys are fucking goats. Appreciate that.
Shout out to everyone here.
Shout out to all you
Appreciate
guys. But once again, yeah, Kisame empirically just has quite a bit of empirical evidence suggesting that he's above the majority of the Akatsuki. You'd have to play, really nitpick at things and speculate, which is a flawed way of logic in the first place to suggest that Kisame scales below these other people. So, let's see. Next question. Do you think Edo Tensei will make a return in the series? If so, do you think it will play a big role like Kabuto's Edo's? So this is my take on it. I don't see any benefits of reintroducing them besides the obvious fan service that it would provide with us being able to see very admired shinobi. Clearly, we'd love to see that. But if they are reintroduced, they would have to inevitably be retconned for them to be relevant whatsoever. For someone like Jiraiya to be even relevant to someone of Coates' caliber, he'd have to be retconned. If not, he'd just be pure fodder that would get absolutely demolished or just stand there, useless. So there'd have to be a retcon for them to be even somewhat relative, at least to an antagonist of Coates' caliber. So I don't see this being the case. I don't. Yeah, but what do you think about
Yeah.
that?
I've asked this before to you too, and it's like I agree though completely. Like the shinobi that they would bring back would just not like have any relative scaling to what we see in Boruto nowadays, and they would
Yeah,
essentially just be fodderized unless it's like maybe like Shisui and it's like a 1v1. He uses broken ass Kodo on them, maybe right, but that's like
exactly.
very like specific and very like situational. Other than that, I don't see it really being a
Yeah,
needed motif to carry on
I,
anymore.
I agree. Going back to the Death Note thing, someone said, would the Death Note work on a non-human though? I thought the whole point of it was that they're gods over humans. That's a good point. I mean, the very reality that that it resides in is one where there's only humans and shinigamis. Maybe it wouldn't work because those aren't
Yeah, because I don't
humans.
think you can use the Shinigami eyes on another like Shinigami, right?
Yeah, so
So
maybe it wouldn't work. It all depends on your presupposition, which we can't prove any presupposition because it's all
yeah,
theoretical.
exactly.
If we presuppose that it has to be a Homo sapien of the Death Note's universe, then no, it wouldn't work on any shinobi. Yeah. Who's the strongest character in fiction that you know of? In all of fiction,
Hmm.
maybe a DC entity like One Above All, or not. That's Marvel. Excuse me. Like a Marvel entity like the One Above All, or the Spectre from DC, or it'd be
Just like
clearly an omnipotent being.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So one of those individuals would are fucking Xeno from Dragon Ball or something like that.
Just snaps his fingers, bro, and everything's
Exactly.
gone.
Like they
Yeah,
transcend reality. They probably are
or
quite
even like
high.
SpongeBob, bro.
Oh, even SpongeBob, yeah. Those levels of individuals reach like higher dimensions themselves. Some of them transcend higher dimensions beyond, the three physical and the one temporal dimension we're familiar with.
Yeah.
And to
Hmm.
really compare those, it's like comparing apples with apples. Like they're all omnipotent. They're all powerful, all knowing. Like it's they just hit another level that's even hard to compare people that are familiar that are similar to. So
Exactly.
all we can say is, oh yeah, they're omnipotent. That's it. Like that's all that can really be said.
That's sad, bro. Yeah, literally.
Yeah. This is a matchup: Kakuzu Hidan versus Three Tails Naruto and Four Tails. Do you want to give your thoughts on that first? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll try to knock this out. Okay, so Kakuzu versus Four Tails Naruto, the one that fought Sekiro Orochimaru. So the way I see it going out, I would see Kakuzu like trying to like use his like wide variety of nature-based attacks with his five hearts to like try to pierce Naruto's durability. I don't think his taijutsu would be enough. Now, that being said, I don't think he has enough AP to bypass Naruto's durability. If the Kusanagi couldn't, it's a really high piercing legendary sword.
It's a good point,
so I can't prove this, guys. It's not absolute, but it's just hypothesizing. I don't think he would have enough AP to pierce his durability. Naruto has so much chakra, he could probably just like fucking spam those Biju Dama bombs. And Kakuzu doesn't have the triple Rashomon gates or anything like that. He has his diamond armor.
Yeah.
Which is not tanking a tail beast bomb, mind you.
Yeah, it's very, very likely that he'd probably get disintegrated by one. Yeah.
He does have ranged attacks, but so does Naruto with the Biju Dama bomb. So, I mean, it's going to be a battle of endurance, and I think Naruto would just last.
Yeah, Naruto
I think he would just metastasize into more tails if needed, but
empirically as well, I don't see them competing with, especially Four-Tail Naruto. Four-Tail Naruto, his AP is insane, his speed's insane. Fucking Kakuzu got blitzed by base Rasen Shuriken Naruto, let alone Four-Tail Naruto enraged. I doubt that Hidan as well. I mean, he stands even less of a chance. He's inferior to Kakuzu, as we all know. So
that's why I didn't even mention him, bro.
Yeah, he's not even relevant in this discussion. Let's see what people said here. It said the human whose name is written will die. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that rule in the note, the Death Note literature.
What was that?
It said someone said that one of the rules is that the Death Note says is that it said that the human whose name is written will die. So it does specify human.
Oh, human. Got you. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it probably wouldn't affect Shinobi and other species that aren't human. Continuing on, let's see. So someone asked War Kakashi versus EMS Sasuke. Okay, this is a fairly contentious one for sure.
Are we talking War Kakashi with QB Chakra amped or not?
Let's start with without. Yeah, without it's still contentious, but empirically, War Kakashi scales to, in the anime, I believe it was 7th gate guy, and in the manga, I think it was 6th gate, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but he compares to him, has similar performance against the version 2 Jinchurikis that Obito is controlling. So he compares to that, at least in speed and AP. I don't know about AP, but in speed at least. EMS Sasuke is relative to some arbitrary extent to Edo Itachi, at least at the beginning of the war arc. So I would lean towards Sasuke taking it. Kakashi's best win condition would obviously be Kamui, but I do think there'd be a speed gap between those two. And it's possible that Sasuke just GG's him with Indra's arrow before he can react. That's very possible, if you interpret that the speed gap is significant enough. If not, then Kakashi could possibly snipe him with Kamui. It's possible.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I don't think the speed gap is too gargantuan, just because like the version 2 Jinchuriki are pretty much relative to one another, and also KC1 Naruto, and KC1 Naruto is supposed to be quite relative to EMS Sasuke. Yeah. So I don't think the speed gap would be too massive. That being said, though, I think Sasuke's Genjutsu or
that'd be a problem.
Something like that would be quite a problem, especially with EMS. So
I agree.
I would take Sasuke taking this slightly. For sure.
The most contentious is the Kamui. Like, could he catch him, snipe him away?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like with the Kyuubi, he had like enough chakra to potentially snipe the Ghetto statue.
With the Kyuubi, he'd even have a better chance. Yeah. He'd be amped up. Faster. Probably higher AP as well.
Absolutely.
Why is the debate community toxic? Earlier, oh shit, Serge Eats once again, brother. Thanks for the $10. Goat is back.
That's good, bro. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, let me put this on the screen. Oh, you could answer his question if you want while I do that. Yeah.
But yeah, I got you. Let's see what this goat has to say. Warwick unmasked Obito before Jubido versus EMS Sasuke with the help of Kakashi and Guy. Warwick unmasked
Interesting.
versus EMS Sasuke with the help of Kakashi and Guy. I'm assuming you're talking about the EMS Sasuke that was relative to Edo Itachi, so the early one.
Yeah.
That's a hard one, man. Honestly, dude.
Let's see here. What was it again? Warwick unmasked Obito before Jubito versus EMS Sasuke with the help of Kakashi and Guy. Oh shit. Okay, so unmasked. So that means he still has his Rinnegan, I'm assuming.
He still has Rinnegan. The one that we saw in the Kamui dimension, essentially.
Yeah, so that one against EMS Sasuke, Kakashi, and Guy. So let's exclude eight gates, because, Obito would die if Guy uses that.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
So let's get rid of that. Besides that, with Kakashi having, the other eye, which allows him to time, I think that it was along the lines of he, basically timed Obito perfectly. With EMS Sasuke there, there's a good chance that it may go similar to how it did with KCM2. I think KCM2 is probably faster than EMS Sasuke at the beginning of the war arc, but I think that I have a good chance of defeating him.
Yeah, the teamwork dynamic is interesting for sure, because Kakashi could counteract the Kamui. Guy is fucking insane, even in Seventh Gates.
Even in Seventh Gates, yeah.
A lot of work to Jubi moderate that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Sasuke obviously is quite a capable shinobi as well. So I think the three of them could actually do some damage and outmaneuver. So Kakashi and Sasuke are quite brilliant, They're very
both of them,
tactical. So if they're working together, that could be quite a problem with Obito, because Kakashi knows Kamui. He knows how to counteract.
If we want to be technical, worst comes to worst, Guy uses 8 gates and kills him. So probably that team. Yeah, I agree with that. Go back to the guy's question.
That's quite a team, though.
Yeah, that's quite the team. Someone said, why is the debate community toxic? So we gave some rhetoric on this earlier, but essentially it's because of egos. Egos is huge. That's why we've seen, fucking losers like Seth the Programmer come around because of their very ego and their very narcissistic personality and them never wanting to lose at all costs, when in reality, these fictional-based fucking discussions are always arbitrary. So yeah, it's just egos. Just bitterness, things like that. That's why the community is fucking toxic. It's lack of professionalism. Yeah, it's a lack of professionalism for sure.
It's full of people that aren't necessarily mature or out of adolescence yet. So it really has this immature energy into the community itself. There's a ton of ego that comes into debates in general. People want to prove who's right or wrong, as opposed to what the actual conclusion should be.
Exactly.
And people can't disassociate that from debates in general, oftentimes.
Right.
So
what you got to do to really reach new heights, you got to learn how to disassociate your feelings to the topic at hand. You got to learn how to do that. Emotions inevitably cloud your judgment, and sometimes make you blind to the most probable argument, the most probable premise. Emotions don't really aid you, to be honest. In the world of logical deduction, it really doesn't. And that's a problem with anime debate community, especially the most heinous of individuals that will go as far as doxing you and things of that nature. That's way too far. We're debating fucking anime and you're trying to dox me? That's insane. Oh shit, Sergi's once again. Man, this guy's a fucking goat, man. That deserves another one right here. That deserves the other horn, man. I appreciate that, brother. Let me put that on the screen as well. Give me a second, folks, while I do that.
Who will win between Obito, Itachi, and Nagato versus the live Hokage Minato?
Oh, interesting.
Well, Obito already took on Hokage Minato by himself.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
At 14 years old,
which is impressive. Yeah, very impressive.
I'd say the three of them for sure would take on Hokage Minato.
Yeah, to chime in, to chime in on that. Yeah, Obito as a teenager was competing with Minato. Even Minato himself admitted this is a game of inches. It's going to come down to who hits who first. This is very contentious. He even thought that he was Madara. That's how impressed he was by his performance and by the things he's accomplished. He's like, are you Madara Uchiha? Yeah. He's the only guy that could compete with me and literally infiltrate the leaf without being detected. Who the hell are you? So that implies a level of respect. So if it's full grown in Obito with Itachi and Nagato, more than likely they'll win. Yeah, most definitely.
I agree completely. Yeah.
In conjunction, yeah.
Obito, Itachi, Nagato. That's a trio right there, bro.
Yeah,
That's some legends.
that's a hell of a trio right there. Yeah, they're gonna be
Yeah.
tough. You need like top tier, damn near six pass people to deal with that team. So
And I also wanted to add something about this with Minato not using Sage mode. I actually have a good theory about that. I think people say he's the perfect Sage because of how he was as an Edo, but the thing that was the huge outlier between his existence as an Edo and his existence as a live version is
yeah,
that he had a Kurama who is literally an embodiment of natural energy.
that's a
You know what I
good
mean? So
point. Yeah, that's a good point.
to access Sage mode, which is accessing natural energy, I think was more in his favor when he had Kurama. So that's why it was so easy for him to do it
Yeah,
when he was dead.
there's
You
just
know?
certainly different parameters when he used the sage mode. You know, in comparison to alive. Like empirically, it makes sense that he wasn't good at it alive because in the biggest, most highly pressurized, battles in his career that we see, he doesn't use it against Obito. Reaction time amplification would have been perfect for him. Why didn't he use it
Exactly.
then? If he was so good at it, why didn't he use it where it was most needed against fucking Obito, where he admits this is gonna come down to the wire? Why wouldn't you use fucking sage mode if you're a perfect sage? Makes no sense.
And
So
there's no way he got KCM2 immediately, right? They had to have some like teamwork or like some dynamic in the Pure
yeah,
Lands
agreed. Yeah,
working with one another. That's why when he got reincarnated, he can instantly go KCM2 and even Sage mode because, like, again, Kurama is literally an amalgamation of just natural energy.
agreed. Yeah. So there's definitely different parameters when he uses it as an Edo. People try to argue that he was a perfect sage as during his lifetime as a shinobi. It just doesn't add up empirically. He never uses it, so it just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't he use it if he's so good at it? And we've seen how much
And
powerful you can get when you're a perfect sage with Naruto. So
yeah.
it's very bizarre. It's very bizarre.
He's so intelligent too. You think he
Yeah.
wouldn't freaking use Sage
Yeah,
mode?
like you really think he wouldn't use that if it was to his benefit? Absolutely not. But continuing on, it's a lot of
Oh
these.
well, Cubes. I meant like Kurama he's very gifted at collecting natural energy, and because Minato is a Jinchuriki, then they're
Yeah, yeah,
transitively he could transfer nature energy into Minato. But you're right,
yeah.
absolutely.
Let's see here. Kakashi versus Tsunade, all forms except for six paths. So I'll go first. Truthfully, I believe that the only version that would stand a chance,
Work.
Warwick, yeah, that's the only one I think would stand a chance. I think before that he lacks the stamina. He might even lack the speed, arguably. That's more contentious, but he would definitely lack the stamina. He would definitely probably lack AP. He'd have to like really pull out the big guns to even hurt her enough to incapacitate her. So I think as Warwick, there's enough to establish that he might have the speed advantage. And that with the additional ability he has with his Kamui, it'd be pretty problematic for Tsunade if she gets BFR'd by his Kamui and he just snipes her out of the battlefield. It's very, very probable. Again, like I said previous, with Kakashi scaling, he keeps up with 6th gate guy in the manga, and if I'm correct, 7th gate guy in the anime. So I think he would be faster than Tsunade, despite her being able to strike an Edo Madara, who again, guys, was toying with them. It's not like he was trying to kill them. So people say, "Oh,
Yeah.
Tsunade scales the Madara. Look at it." He's fucking toying with them. He literally gave them options. Like, do you want to die this way, or do you want me to do it this way? Like, he didn't give a shit what was going on. He didn't. He looked at them as children. So before you say Tsunade's skills this high, it's really not that simple. So I think
I agree, man.
Kakashi. I think War Kakashi would have the best odds against Tsunade. But yeah, that's what I would say about that.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I believe Kakashi during the Panarch invasion was like really revering Jiraiya still. Is like saying how like, oh, I wish she was here or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm trying to say though is like I don't think Kakashi even scales to Jiraiya, not even the Panarch definitely, and
Yeah.
especially like how the Sonic is supposed to be relative. Tsunade has a way bigger durability and regeneration and survivability aspect as opposed to Jiraiya, obviously.
Yeah.
And I don't think Kakashi has enough adequate speed or AP to even contend with Tsunade until the work, like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I agree. For sure.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah.
you can't scale Kakashi to 10 to pain either. Like he's
Oh, yeah.
toying with Kakashi, just
Literally
like
toying with him.
with Tsunade.
Yeah,
so.
he was toying with him the whole time. I mean, the whole time.
Yeah.
Someone asked, I've never, in your honest opinion on Naruto versus Ichigo, who do you think would most likely win? So based
I
off,
haven't seen all of the anime though, bro. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's based off what I know of Ichigo. If I highball the bleach characters, Yamamoto can destroy an entire realm with his Bankai. It's implied, and he literally had to speed up the process against Ewok, or who he thought was Ewok. So Ichigo at his strongest, the one that defeated Aizen at the end of their Rancor arc. It's arguable whether he reaches the power of Yamamoto,
Yamamoto. Yeah.
but he's extremely powerful. At highballing, I could say that Yamamoto is. I don't know if I want to give him the benefit and say he's universal because he could have burnt down the entire realm. Um, I would say a more safe scaling would be maybe like planet level. There is implied curvature of realms, like such as Wakamundo. There's curvature that you could see in the horizon, which implies like a planet of some sort. So maybe the Soul Society is equivalent in size. Again, that's all contentious, hypothetical. I think,
I
yeah, you
is
can
he
go ahead.
talking about current? Is he talking about current Naruto and current Ichigo, or is he talking about like end of like Shippuden versus end of Soul Society arc, essentially, like with like Aizen and all that? Because like that continuity
Base.
matters a lot with this.
Oh, it's peak for peak. Final Valley Shippuden Naruto and final arc Ichigo.
Okay, yeah, got you. Oof. I think at that point, I probably would give it to Ichigo. I just
Yeah,
think him
I
being a
think
different
so too.
realm altogether
Yeah,
is very hard for Naruto to deal with. Even though he has success stage mode and can react to him accordingly,
yeah,
Bleach characters are like massively. I mean, like to be light speed is not even like. There's so many ways you can scale him above that. Same with like Naruto, obviously, but uh, I don't know. It's a hard one, man. Do you
yeah.
think like Naruto's six fast stage mode will be able to
Um,
react and deal with Ichigo? Like
I tend to
literally a
believe
blind counter.
not.
Yeah.
It's really hard though because I do think Naruto. Oh shit, Sergi's with $10 again. Appreciate that, brother.
Ooh,
Fucking goat, man.
hell
Living
yeah,
goat.
brother.
One more 10 for
Much
you
love,
guys
dude.
because I love being a donor. I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Um, we're going back to that most powerful Ichigo. I just think probably does scale above large planet. And I think at best Naruto, in the final valley probably is planet level. Um,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
I lean
definitely.
towards Ichigo slightly in that one. But I'll learn more of Ichigo as I continue with the. I'm caught up on the anime, but not the manga yet. And it'd be
I
probably
really wish you could have saw that animation get out, dude.
yeah,
That'd
man.
have been fire,
I would have been
bro.
fire. Probably like death battle level. Um, but
That's a
right
hard
now
battle, though, man.
it's very very
Yeah.
difficult. I think if it's Boruto Naruto, things change, man.
Oh,
We're talking about
with
new
him.
levels. Yeah, like Barry on
Yeah,
low
exactly.
Naruto. It might go in Naruto's favor.
Good luck with that, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's reaching much beyond planet level at that point. Um,
And Mugetsu Ichigo is no joke, bro.
not
It's
even yeah, not
insane.
even Mogetsu Ichigo is a joke. Like he's extremely extremely powerful. He made Aizen shit himself. Like he had no chance. So and Aizen was
Yeah.
already one with the Hoyoku already. So that alone, it's very very impressive.
And he doesn't need like a lot of prep time to go into Mugetsu form.
Yeah,
Like
he
it's
did it
like his
pretty.
trump card, you know.
Yeah, he did it very very quickly. That Naruto, I'd lean towards him if it was Boruto. Probably. Again, I need to
Oh
finish
yeah.
the final arc first of Ichigo. Maybe my opinion will change. But
Yeah,
currently,
I'm still caught up on the anime. It ended already, so I'm like waiting
yeah,
until June or whatever to see the rest. Yeah.
definitely peak, very very peak anime so far.
So good, bro.
Yeah,
So good.
appreciate that again, sure, Jeets. Appreciate that, brother. But yeah, that's who I
Shout
lean
out to
to.
G, bro.
Let's continue on with the questions. Let's see here. Let's do a couple more verses. There was quite a bit that were asked, but we'll continue on.
Mm-hmm.
Zabuza versus Kabuto, part 1, 2. I'll say, despite Kabuto being stated to be Kakashi level by Orochimaru, he's clearly intimidated by Kakashi when they had their confrontation. He
Mm-hmm.
seems to hesitate to try and battle him. You could use headcanon and say he has other motives as to why he did that, but I think that Kakashi scales above Kabuto to some arbitrary extent. I don't think he's equivalent in power to Kakashi. Hence, I think Zabuza would probably beat him. It's definitely part 1 of
Yeah.
the Kabuto. So, yeah, that's what I would say about that.
I think so. Yeah, he was like he's relative to Kakashi by Orochimaru's statement. He's like you're on Kakashi's level, so he's like relative to some arbitrary degree. And that was a Kakashi who was stronger than the one that fought Zabuza because it's rock climbing and all this fucking training he did as a kid to like get out of the rustiness, if you will. But
Yeah.
I think what made Kakashi relative to Zabuza in the first place was literally having that fucking Sharingan, dude. If he didn't have that,
Oh
the
yeah.
whole battle would have been completely different, you know.
It might go much
So,
different.
but
Yeah.
I think hacks and Arsenal really plays a factor into this matchup,
That's
and
true.
I don't think Kabuto would have the adequate uh, abilities to counteract the hidden fog
Yeah,
or
that'd be a
even
problem.
Zabuza's miss mode. Let's
Yeah.
say he goes into that off rip,
Kabuto would
that'd
be
even be more.
lost. Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually have Zabuza winning this one,
Yeah,
man.
I
To be
agree.
honest,
I
especially if he
agree.
goes demon miss mode.
Yeah, I think
So yeah.
empirically it's just suggested that Zabuza is the superior. Um, definitely.
And like I know he's relative to a stronger Kakashi, but like how much stronger was he really? You
Right.
know,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
another pretty big question to ask. So
Yeah, it's very
yeah,
contentious. Very. It takes a lot of rationale, not much empirically. But yeah. Uh,
yeah.
let's see here. I think Naruto is planetary by KCM2. That's very contentious. It's very contentious.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
Yeah, I don't think large planet levels start to come into the equation until we see like Jubito, at least, in my opinion. Um, let's see here.
Yeah,
is
that's fair.
what if your Xenoverse OC versus current Goku? Who wins? I haven't played Xenoverse in a long time, so my OC is ass. He probably got his ass whipped by Goku. So I think Kabuto is good as Kakashi's statement was about caliber of Shinobi, not power. It's fair.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah, it's
that. I
fair.
agree with that, honestly. Yeah, for
Answer the
sure.
questions in the podcast question chat. Are you talking about Discord? Let me see. That's what
This
most of
guy,
the this
Ass
that's
Titan.
that's what most of the ones I'm answering are from. But yeah, let me see if there's new ones.
Wasn't he the homie who asked all the sus stuff for our debates?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yo.
That was some interesting debates we did.
Yeah, thanks, Ass Titan.
Yeah, shout out for all the donations you gave on that one. That was
Figure
appreciate
mode
that.
Naruto versus Ashiki, Momoshiki, Kaguya, and Kinshiki. Who's winning?
Versus all of them.
Uh, yeah, all of them are probably winning.
Um,
Especially if Ishiki doesn't have a like a time limit. You know what I mean?
yeah, Ishiki doesn't have a time limit. Um, this is the
It's lesser
main.
fodder.
Yeah, the main limitation is Baryon Mode's time limit. Um, he if he stays in it, he's whipping all of them probably. All their asses are getting whooped. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say with the time limitation, it's theoretically possible that he might not last long enough to take them all out. But I think even if he runs out of that, if then you gotta ask what happens after that. Is Naruto strong enough to be Notsuki without Kurama? It doesn't seem like that's the case anymore. Um,
No, I
so if
don't think
that,
so.
but
Oh,
if it,
that's yeah.
yeah, if he can last long enough, I do think he beats them all. I do. So depend on that.
Yeah, because like he only took off like what, like 20 hours of his life or something like that, and he was going
Yeah,
all out to kick his ass.
yeah, he was.
He's really trying to stop his threat. So if he was in his prime condition, didn't have that time limit anymore, takes off 2 days off his life, right? Doesn't
Yeah,
really matter to
exactly.
Shiki. I mean, he's a fucking god, you know what I
Yeah, that,
mean?
that
Like
wouldn't be a
almost.
problem. Yeah. I have no
So
money
yeah.
anymore. Oh, that's all good, man. We appreciate the donations though that you did give. Um, so in the Discord, do you think Sasuke will die and be revived by Orochimaru to train Sarada and Boruto during time skip while Orochimaru trains Mitsuki? Will he die and be revived? I don't think he'll be.
Sasuke?
Yeah, like does he think? So he's asking, do you think Sasuke will die and be revived by Orochimaru to train Sarada and Boruto during the time skip while Orochi trains Mitsuki? Um, I don't think
Huh.
I don't think he'll be revived. I think once he's dead, he's dead. Um,
Yeah, I kind of see him going out with like giving Sarda his like Mangekyo
yeah,
probably.
I don't see him being revived.
Uh,
I don't see why Orochimaru would do that. I kind of see what you're saying, right? Because Sasuke has a Sharingan to help Sarada out. Boruto has trained with Sasuke before, but I would say most likely I wouldn't see that being very probable.
you're cutting out a little bit on my end, just letting you know, bro. Just wanna,
Oh, I'm cutting out.
yeah, just a
Let's see.
tad bit.
It might be my
I don't know
connection.
if I'm or not.
Let me see my connection real quick, folks.
I think Mitsuki's a really dope character. I think he's got some like potential. You
Yeah, he
know,
has a
I
lot of
just think he's
potential.
underexplored right now.
I like
Yeah,
his personality, his powers, the kind of like sage mode he possesses. Um,
dude, I know.
it's very
The
cold.
Snake Sage mode is really cool because we never really get to see it, you know, during Shippuden and all that shit. So
Yeah.
definitely, it's cool.
All right, continuing on with these questions. Kabuto versus Guy, part 1 and 2. Oh, yeah, Guy's slapping him around with like 6 gate or above. Easily. Jiraiya versus Hiruzen instead of Orochimaru. I honestly think that Jiraiya might fall to Hiruzen if Hiruzen was as bloodlusted as he was against Orochimaru, because Orochimaru had help. He had, the
Yeah,
Edos aid him and beating Hiruzen down and training him. So I think Jiraiya might fall to him if it was
and let's say if
instead.
they're stuck in that like barrier as well, like the Orochimaru and Hiruzen were, like Jiraiya's not going to be able to go in the Sage mode if he's stuck in that little fucking box and
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
5 minutes and get in the first
Yeah.
place.
So
So
he most likely would fall. Yeah, if he's in Orochimaru's shoes.
yeah,
Itachi versus Hiruzen and Jiraiya, part 1 and 2. Itachi versus those two.
Hiruzen,
Hmm.
Itachi versus Hiruzen and Jiraiya
Yeah, Hiruzen and Jiraiya.
in part one. Or
Part
that's
1.
sick.
Yeah, part 1.
Oh yeah, well then yeah, he's
Yeah.
definitely taking that one, bro.
Yeah, if he's sick, it might be more contentious. If it's Shippuden, if he's sicker and weaker, it might be more contentious. But he might still win.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
He's
he's kicking ass both ways.
Tsukuyomi would kill one of them, and then he'd just deal with the other. So.
Dude, he casually reacted to Orochimaru all fucking blind.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's
you know?
people don't realize how fast he really is. Let's continue on here. Would Sasuke's Mangekyo work with Sarada? Is a father-daughter blood connection strong enough? I mean, the eye that Obito gave Kakashi worked, and he's not even in Uchiha, so yeah, it would work. I'm sure it would work.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
definitely.
it'd be perfect. Adult Sage Naruto should be beating Momoshiki, in my opinion.
Base memo?
Base Momo? I think he means post-nerf Sage Mode Naruto. I think that's what he means.
Yeah, beating base memo, right?
Yeah, I think that's what he means. It's hard to tell how strong he
yeah.
is. Yeah.
I wouldn't see it being like a impossibility by any stretch of the. Yeah, I can see it happening, but we don't know what he's capable of.
Yeah, we don't really know what he's capable of. I think he's significantly weaker, but obviously I can't prove that because there's nothing.
Exactly, bro. Yeah, speculation, right?
Yeah, so I think he wouldn't, but we don't know. Die revived by Orochimaru to train Sarada. That's so fanfic. Yeah. Thanks for answering. Yeah, for sure. Let's see these other ones here. Gotta go. Bye. Thanks for coming in, Legend. Thanks for all the guys that came in. Little donations. Make sure to hit the like button, folks, for everyone who hasn't already. Gets us up in the algorithm.
So we got 19 here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Gets us up in the algorithm. More eyeballs. More people interacting, etc. So make sure to hit that like button, folks. Continuing on with these questions. Let's see here. Let's see which one's interesting here. Orochimaru versus Kisame, part 1 and 2.
Still cutting out a little bit, bud.
Am I still cutting out?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the chat as well. Let me know if you can.
Yeah.
It might just be me.
Yeah, let me know, folks, if I am cutting out. It might be my fucking connection. Let me see how strong it's currently. Let's see here. Might be a little slow.
Hey, connection's looking good. Okay, I was checking.
Oh, what did I check here? Let me see. Give me a second, folks. Will I look here? Okay. It's a little, yeah, it's a little slow. Hopefully it clears up, though. Alright, continuing on. Which one were we on again? We're on Orochimaru versus Kisame.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Orochimaru versus Kisame. Yeah. Part 1 and 2?
Part 1 and 2, yeah. What do you think about that one?
Part 1, Kisame's taking this. Definitely, I'd say. The weak ass Edos that Orochimaru has is not really an issue.
Yeah, not for him. No.
Kisame, yeah. Kisame scales above old Hiruzen as well.
Yeah.
So that's said and done. Part 2 is more intriguing because, especially in the war arc, he has Hashirama.
Oh yeah, if he has those guys, Kisame's failing. Yeah, he's gonna die. 1-on-1, I lean towards Kisame though. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
these here. Let's go to some questions that aren't. We did a lot of match versus matchups. Let's see.
Yeah, homie had a lot of them, bro.
Yeah, he did. Worst written character in all of fiction that you've come across? Me personally, from my perspective lens, I'd say Sakura's ass. I think Sakura is pretty bad, honestly.
I think Ida's worse, man.
Oh, Ida's pretty bad as well. Not very well written at all.
Of all time, though? Sheesh, that's a hard one, bro.
Yeah, there's a ton of characters out there. Sakura's just the one that comes to mind, but...
Yeah, Sakura's pretty ass, bro. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I agree, bro.
So yeah, I'll probably say Sakura. Base Minato versus guy up to 7th gates. Minato. Yeah, Minato's going to defeat him. He's too fast for him. He's too quick for him. He'll have his stuff.
Reactionary speed.
His reactionary speed, his combat speed, his flying rise, and he would teleport behind him and slit his throat if he's not using the 8th gate. So, KCM2 Minato and Edo Itachi versus KCM2 Naruto and EMS Sasuke. Huh.
KCM2 Minato and Edo Itachi.
Yeah, versus KCM2 Naruto and EMS Sasuke.
Well, I think Edo Itachi scales above EMS Sasuke, at least in the early war arc.
Yeah, definitely.
They probably like each other.
Yeah,
KCM. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say as far as this matchup, I believe KCM2 Naruto uses. Now, this is a theory, obviously. I believe he uses Kurama more potently, more optimally. He has more chemistry with him. Minato just got revived and had the other half, and they did what they did. So I think Naruto uses the power more optimally. He's probably stronger to some arbitrary extent to Minato. As far as EMS Sasuke versus Edo Itachi, if it's beginning of war arc, EMS Sasuke, Edo Itachi would have the advantage. Again, he has to be sealed as well. I don't know how they would deal with Edo Itachi if they can't seal him.
Isn't it weird to you how slow KCM2 Minato seems though? Like,
yeah, it is strange. Like if we're trying to stay technical and true to the amplification, like Minato should be insanely fast.
Yeah, it's absurdly fast.
Like we'd have to, if we presuppose that the amplification Naruto got is equivalent to the one Minato got, Minato should be like faster than everybody by a long shot. And like, at least everyone that's not named Jubito and Jubidara. So it is a little strange that he didn't increase vastly in speed. I think that's sort of an inconsistency. So,
absolutely, I agree. Yeah, because if it were equivalent, he would be, massively faster.
Oh yeah, like Madara would never touch him, and no one would touch him. Yeah,
never. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd probably lean towards Edo, KCM2 Minato, and Edo Itachi, because once again, they won't be able to seal him. They won't be able to seal them away anyway. So.
True, bro.
I don't think either one has any sealing jutsu that I'm aware of. So.
Same. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Let's see here. See what you guys have said. At what point does Hinata get above Neji in power skill? That's a good question. You could say maybe never.
Maybe not like the last.
Yeah, not until the last. She might never ever reach his level until the last and surpass him there.
Because she gets Hamura's chakra and shit, and yeah.
At that point, she's clearly more powerful than Neji ever could be. But before that, I don't really empirically. There's not really anything that implies she surpassed Neji before that. In my opinion, honestly.
Rip Neji, bro.
Yeah.
Died for nothing.
All right, continuing. I mean, of her own accord. Yeah, of her own accord, I don't think she ever did, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, let's see here though. Where are the other ones at? So what if Shisui actually pulled off Kodo on Fugaku? Alright, so this is what I would say. It's more than likely that Fugaku would go to the Hokage directly, try to decrease the tension between them, as we all know, between the Uchiha and the Leaf bureaucracy. Danzo would look at this with a doubtful eye, and then tell Hiruzen that Fugaku's full of shit, and try to change his mind on the peace treaty that Fugaku would offer him. There's a chance that the Uchiha massacre may never occur, because tensions would be decreased. Again, it all depends on how Hiruzen interprets Fugaku's attempt to make peace, and whether he deems it legitimate or not, or just a ploy to fuck the Leaf over and set them up. Yeah. Maybe Danzo will try to feed him that narrative. So it all depends on that. For my eye, I tend to think that Hiruzen is somewhat fair. But then again, he was a spineless leader during that time and went with Danzo's decisions more than not. So
Absolutely.
there's a good chance that it may still happen. But overall, all I'll say is this: it's possible that the massacre doesn't happen and that Itachi doesn't have the ultimatum presented to him. So
Well,
it's possible.
I have something for you to think about. So, what if, like, so I'm assuming this would happen during like a meeting of all the Uchiha,
Yeah.
right? They're like discussing like how to carry out the plan or whatever, the mass or of the coup rather.
Yeah.
Koda Matsukami is at least a Genjutsu, right? Like,
Right. Yeah.
and the Sharingan and the Byakugan obviously can see chakra networks, right?
Yeah.
So one of the Uchiha members is probably going to notice that Fugaku is underneath the Genjutsu. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
They
a
would
good point.
probably they would know who's doing it, like because they know Shisui quite well, obviously being like one of their fellow brethren. So if Shisui did it, I think it's quite plausible that one of the members of the Uchiha would like see Fugaku being placed under like Genjutsu, you know, and so
Yeah.
that might even not work in the first place.
That's a
And
good
so
point. Yeah. That's a good
I
point.
think Donzo is right saying it would be a waste of you to use this
Right.
on Fugaku, you know.
That is a good point because obviously they're all familiar with Shisui. He has a lot of lore in the clan and amongst the Leaf as well. So seeing a 180 in ideology from Fugaku would be very strange. They'd be like, "What
Yeah,
the
they
hell
can
happened?"
literally see him being in Genjutsu too. Because like, if Al can do it, and he has a Byakugan
Oh
obviously,
yeah,
but you know they have Sharingan. They can
yeah.
see that he's underneath Genjutsu as well.
And
So
even without like the physical proof, they would easily imply that yeah, something's wrong. Like he got changed somehow. Someone changed him, and they would probably point to
yeah,
Shisui at that point.
hmm
And that's a good point actually. So if that happens, then Shisui would have a problem. All the Uchiha would be on his ass, and Fugaku would probably be like, he'd probably be somehow like incarcerated, so he doesn't end up messing things up. Who knows? That's a good point as well, actually. So
I think Kodo is extremely broken on a 1v1 situation. But if you have someone else next to you who has like one of those Dojutsu, especially, like it's not really that usable, you know,
yeah,
because you can get
because
broken out of it really easily.
yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Who do you think will train Boruto and Sarada during the time skip? For now, as we lead up to it, probably be Sasuke. Um, but if he dies, then I would think that the next best option would be obviously Konohamaru or Kakashi. Um,
Kakashi, yeah. So I was
yeah,
thinking, yeah.
yeah, because if
I
he's
think
dead,
Kakashi is just a dope
yeah,
sensei, bro. He's got so much knowledge too.
oh yeah, he's
Like
very
obviously,
wise. You definitely give him the ins and outs of battle. So more than likely Kakashi or Konohamaru would continue that, take that mantle from Sasuke if he dies in the future. So yeah, that's what I would say about that. Continuing on, someone asked who should replace Naruto as a stand-in Hokage. Shout out to Six because he did a video on this a while ago and I watched it and I agree with him.
yes, sir.
So
That's
the
all I wanted.
videos, yeah, the videos, not the videos, the candidates that I would put would be number one Kakashi. I think he's the most obvious choice because he was a Hokage. You know what it's like. He has experience. It's kind of a
Hmm.
Minato Hiruzen situation. It's the same thing. The Minato was out of commission. He died, so Hiruzen took over once again. So I think it'd be similar. There'd be a similar kind of dynamic here with Kakashi and Naruto not being present in the Leaf. Second best option, obviously Shikamaru being the right hand man and advocate of Naruto during his years as Hokage. Third, Konohamaru being the grandson of the third. I just don't think he meets certain prerequisites that the other two above him do. Fourth would be Sasuke. Obviously, he meets the power prerequisite, but I think his own intentions and his own personal way of being implies he probably won't want it, unless the writers allow that to happen. And then fifth would be Sarada, which is the most unlikely one. I think all these guys above her would have to die first for her to be the Hokage. That's like last case scenario if all these guys
What do
die
you
in battle. So
yeah, what do you think about like Tsunade though? Like do you think she would
she
have a more of a chance than Sarda at least? Like,
I think
you
more than
know?
Sarada, yeah. I do think she has a better
Yeah.
chance. But I think Kakashi would probably have to die first for them to make Tsunade the Hokage. I do think,
Uh
yeah.
I don't know. Like there's not many other like distinguished like powerful shinobi that we know that have that much respect in Konoha and Boruto
Yeah.
right
I
now.
think
Like we don't
Sakura could
know.
be a possible, but that's very unlikely though to me.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very
You're right.
unlikely. Um Besides that, the other shinobi, I don't really see any others that would take that mantle
Rock
besides those.
Lee?
Lee, It's that
I
would
don't
probably
think so.
yeah.
Yeah,
What about
that'd be dope though.
what about
He has enough
Sakura
power, I
becoming
think.
Hokage? Yeah, we said Sakura. I just think it's very unlikely that she's Hokage. Unless they want to like pay tribute to Tsunade being like a medical ninja Hokage, and they do that. I mean, it's possible, but unlikely to me.
I mean, she wouldn't be a bad supplement or substitute, rather.
Yeah, she
For at
wouldn't.
least a standard Hokage.
Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, that's probably the best, with Kakashi being at the top of that list for now, in my opinion. Um, Next up, sub versus dub, manga versus anime. So I personally prefer dub, obviously, because of my linguistic capabilities. I don't know Japanese, so I have to read the subtitles. To me, it kind of takes away from the experience. So I would say dub for the most part. Sometimes sub is better in certain cases. As far as manga versus anime, I prefer watching anime, but the benefit of reading the manga is that you get a more linear narrative
Oh,
since fillers are
shit.
non-existent. Oh shit, Sergi's with $10 once again. Appreciate that, brother.
My dude.
A fucking goat. A fucking goat.
He's fucking it up, bro.
Yeah, he's fucking shit up with the bag. Alright, let me put this on the screen real quick. Give me a second, folks. Appreciate all the donations, folks. All of you as well. All you guys have donated. Appreciate that. Give me a second while I put this on the screen, folks.
Shout out to all the goats in the stream right now, guys.
Oh yeah, shout out to all the goats. The guys are always present. All the donators, the members. Appreciate that. Give me a second, folks, while I put this on the screen. Let's see here. Where the fuck is it? Oh, there it is. Give me a second, folks. Oh yeah, you can read his question if you want while I do this shit.
Yeah, he said, I came back because I forgot to tell you. If you like Naruto, I recommend you looking up a series called O-Parts Hunter and the creator of the series.
Oh,
I haven't heard of it personally.
Yeah, I haven't heard of it as well.
Like, stuff.
Yeah, definitely gonna check that out. I'm always open to new anime, see what the thematic aspects are like, and what they bring to the table. So yeah, I'll probably definitely check that out.
Absolutely, man. There's a lot of stuff I haven't seen, but I try to I've watched a lot of good stuff, but I'm always looking for more, dude. Definitely.
Yeah,
for appreciate
sure.
it.
Appreciate that. Sergi's being a goat. Yeah, definitely. I'm looking for new animes. At least maybe not the power scale, but to at least watch at the very bare minimum.
Yeah, just enjoy it, right?
Yeah. Oh, Alexa's in the chat. What's up, Alexa?
Oh,
Thanks
Alexa.
for coming in. All right, let's continue on.
You talking about manga and anime?
Oh yeah, manga and anime. That's right. So the benefit of manga is that it's more linear as far as its narrative, obviously because there's no fillers. It's just straight to the point. So yeah, I would say I'm more of an anime guy, but if I want like direct to the point narrative, I'll go back and read the manga like Naruto and stuff like that. So that's what I would say about those.
Yeah, I'm an anime guy all the way, bro. Always have been. I just get so much more like it's what's in the literature, but it's just elaborated to such a enjoyable extent. It's like visually very pleasing. It's like it's just the battles are always dope to see. The plot unravels like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But sometimes stories take too long. In anime, it could take like weeks or months to release new shit, and sometimes I'm very just like itchy to see how the story unfolds. So I will read manga sometimes.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Mostly anime guy for sure. And then
see.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, Google it. I want to hear your reaction. We got you, Sir Jeets, because you're a goat. So what's it called? O-Parts Hunter. Okay, let's look it up.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what this entails of.
Parts Hunter.
Parts Hunter.
Our style looks dope, bro.
Oh shit. Let's see. O-Parts Hunter, known as 666 Sein in Japan, is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Seishai.
Sechi?
I think that's his name. Kishimoto. Oh shit.
Oh wow.
Probably having an affiliation to Kishimoto from Naruto. It was originally published by Enix, who later became Square Enix. Okay. Let's check this out. What does this entail of? What does this entail of? Setting. Ancient relics found throughout the world, left by an extinct civilization before mankind existed. They're primarily used as weapons or forms of transportation. Plot. Set in the near future, it tells the story of a teenage girl named Ruby Crescent who wants to become a treasure hunter following the steps of her father.
Look at live, bro. It looks pretty dope, honestly.
Looks kind of dope. The aesthetics as well, pretty cool.
Yeah, the art style dope.
Magical items hidden in ruins which grant people fantastical powers that can only be used by an OPT, O-Part tactician. She soon meets a mysterious boy named Geopolitics who, having a dark Lonely path seeks to conquer the world. Joe is hostile to her at first, but ends up traveling with Ruby as her bodyguard. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, the overall. And it's crazy that one of Kishimoto's family members, or whatever the case may be, a literal brother. Wow, his literal brother wrote
awesome.
that. You know, Kishimoto.
That's awesome, dude.
And we all know what Kishimoto's talent was with Naruto, so that's definitely pretty dope.
A legend.
It's a legend in the anime community for sure. But continuing on, appreciate that, Shurjits, and the donations. Appreciate that, brother.
Thanks again, man.
Pain versus Itachi is always a debatable in the Naruto fandom, but in my opinion, it's kind of obvious unless you bring in Itachi. You can't say, in my opinion, it's kind of obvious when there's no empirical evidence to suggest it's obvious, because it's not. It's not obvious. It's very contentious.
If it's opinionated, it can't be obvious, right?
Yeah, this one lands in the category of extremely contentious. Nothing's obvious when it comes to this. Nothing. So it's all theoretical and highly theoretical, implying highly falsifiable with a different interpretation. So you must acknowledge.
I agree, though.
Yeah.
It's very contentious. Like, I agree with that. Definitely.
Yeah, and what you got to do is you got to acknowledge the very level of contentiousness and arbitrarity that exists. It's very, very high. So, especially with Itachi versus Pain, it's very high.
Yeah, that's really hard. Yeah.
Yeah. But a live version's Pain still above Itachi for sure. That's for sure. No. Oh shit! Of course, Alexa flexing her bag. As usual, always flexing her bag.
Dang, bro.
Appreciate that, Alexa. Give me a second. I put that on the screen.
That's awesome.
She's a baller. What can I say, folks? She's a baller, flexing her bag. I appreciate it. Let me put that on the screen real quick, folks, and we shall continue. You can ask a question, by the way, Alexa, if you want. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
I know,
ask something for once.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Definitely.
I know you don't know anime, but you can still ask something now. Give me a second, though. I put that on the screen.
Anything and everything, folks.
Yeah, you can ask anything, folks. It doesn't have to be anime. We're pretty, I would say, well-rounded, or we try to be at least, with different things. So whatever you guys want to talk about, feel free. Give me a second while I put this here. The screen's getting full because of all these goats. What can I say? It's getting full, man. Sir Jeets being a goat, Alexa, like, all people being goats.
Yeah, they're always consistent, man.
Yeah, I gotta give them props. These guys are fucking goats, man, for sure. Oh, should I put 2 of these on here? The fuck? Okay, there we go. All right. Oh shit, Shinobi himself with the 10, man. Appreciate that.
Dog? Yeah, dude, no doubt. Much love, G.
For sure. Continue on here. Let's see what people said. Big 50. Exactly. It's baller territory. As them hearing that their neighboring villages eradicating Kekkei Genkai clans paired with their isolation for Konoha. Okay, they're talking about something else. Let's continue on with the questions, though, folks. Let's see here. All right, so that's all our pre-established anime questions. Feel free to ask any that you like, folks. You can still continue, and make sure to hit the like button for guys that just came in or watching the recording. But we're going into miscellaneous topics. Of course, we're still going to attack anime if you guys ask anime questions as well.
Those are great matchup questions, though.
Yeah, like a lot of good matchup questions for sure. So this one is morality. This is a morality aspect question. So someone asks, how far, in your opinion, does someone have to go to deserve to die? What's the threshold of when the line is crossed for you? Okay, so we've discussed this previously. This is what I gotta say about this. So now the reason this question is interesting is because it obviously highlights the question of what is to be considered morally righteous and virtuous. So I would say, from my subjective lens, clearly I would say a person deserves death if they pose a threat to your own life directly, like a home invasion, or you getting robbed, or them threatening your very life with a lethal weapon, with maybe them themselves being the lethal weapon. At that point, they deserve to die because you have every right to. Oh shit, Batman with the membership renewal. Appreciate that, brother.
Hell yeah, bro. Batman.
Goat shit. Sorry I couldn't be there. I know it's a W. Appreciate it, your brother. Continuing on. Yeah, so at that point, they do deserve to die because your very life is threatened and your very life could cease to exist. So that's fine. But however, the death penalty, right, which is very controversial, I think, which is decided in a court of law, is somewhat short-sighted to me, as the whole idea of the legal system is to represent the epitome of moral righteousness and virtuousness, and I don't think the death penalty does that. I understand the appeal to emotion, killing someone off like fucking Ted Bundy, who's just a vile piece of shit. I understand that. But in the end, what does it really accomplish besides, kind of stroking our emotions and making us feel better. It doesn't really accomplish anything. It kind of removes. I know Ted Bundy's a vile piece of shit. I'm not taking that away from him, but it removes someone's sentient presence. I don't think anyone should have the right to do that, whether you're in the legal system or whether you're a serial killer. I think that it's a short-sighted thing, and I think the death penalty is more so just for the satisfaction of the victims. And the satisfaction of emotions. Oh shit! Batman with fucking $50 as well? Holy fucking shit, man! Oh man, they're having a fucking bidding war. God damn. Continuing on with the bidding war. GG's, man. Damn.
So funny, bro.
Damn, Alexa, you're gonna take that? Sheesh. Give me a second. Let me put it on the screen. But yeah, that's what I would have to say about. That's what I would have to say about that.
If it comes to self-defense, like, I mean, that's clearly a line you have to cross in order to, like, preserve your own, right? Like, that's very understandably, can be accepted. But other than that, I mean, like, I don't think there's any other rational thing you can come to say, like, oh, yeah, he did this, so I can morally or righteously kill him. Again, it's all subjective. We have our own spectrum
of course,
what fits into his parameters, essentially, but I think there are some very obvious thresholds that if are crossed, then yeah, you got to do what you got to do to, like, preserve your life or whatever it may be. But to actually, like, righteously or morally say it's okay to kill someone else at all is extremely just arrogant.
Agreed. Yeah.
We're blessed with this life in the first place. We don't know what's after this. If people want to choose to ruin their lives, fine. But
it's fine. Yeah.
Again, it's subjective, but I don't think it's okay at all to kill someone, man, just because they did something malevolent. Like,
I agree.
I get the emotional appeal behind it, like 100%.
Of course, yeah.
But again, life is sacred. You can't give someone life again. You can't. I don't know. It's just, it comes to religion. It comes to, like, ideologies. There's so much in it.
Yeah, the way I look at it is, you don't make two wrongs don't make a right, and that's basically what the death penalty is attempting to achieve. It's not possible. It's two negatives. That's not the way the world works. Maybe in mathematics, two negatives make a positive, but that's not the way.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not the way morality works, though. Two negatives do not make a positive. Those aspects of discipline are much different. So it's not as simple as trying to make someone pay for their transgressions. At that point, you're just eliminating their very existence, which I disagree with on either side of the legal system, whether you're the prosecutor or the defendant. I think removing life is not okay. I'm all for punishment. I think punishment teaches character, and people like Ted Bundy deserve, like, the most strict punishment, of course, like solitary confinement. I guarantee he'd want to die anyway. He'd probably want to kill himself. He'd get sick of it. And a lot of guys do. A lot of guys want to fucking kill themselves because they're stuck in solitary for 23 hours a day with an hour of recess. So literally, that's to me, that's even worse than death, to be honest. So,
I mean, I think you would like to see someone. I mean, not necessarily you would. I mean, this is very, like, situational, but I think it'd be nice to see someone, like, rot in jail for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's the just deserved, punishment, bro. And, like, if, like, I don't know, if that's not enough for you, then I don't know what it's going to take to appease you at the end of the day. But,
I agree.
Actions have consequences. Let them have their consequences. Don't give them a mercy killing. Don't let them out.
Exactly.
So easily.
Because it is a way of, like, letting them. Yeah, it's kind of letting them, leave in a way as well. Like, you're just killing them off, and that's it. They don't have to feel, for the things they've done. At least in this reality. So that's definitely true as well. But let's see here. I don't think the death penalty should be a power government has. I agree. It should not be a power the government has. I agree. Nobody should have the power to choose another person's life or death. Exactly. Do you think KCM1 is stronger than Six-Tail? Six-Tail Naruto? I would say so. A live stage Madara with one eye versus Jubito. I think Jubito would still beat him one-on-one.
Yeah, I think KCM's overall stronger. Like, speed, a variety of tangible abilities to utilize. Maybe not an AP, but
that might be the that could be the contentious. Yeah, the AP. Late war KCM1 probably is though, but early, it's maybe not. We're continuing on, folks. Feel free to keep asking questions. Again, thanks for all the donations. You guys are all fucking goats. Hit the like button as well. think my connection's kind of bad.
You're doing a lot better now.
Okay, cool.
You haven't cut out in quite a while, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it might have stabilized. All right, continuing on. So this is another scientific. Oh, this is not morality. This is scientific. So de-extinction and the advancements we have made towards it. So I looked this up. Very interesting. I'm familiar with the term de-extinction, but of course I looked up to further gather more information. So from what I extrapolated from peer-reviewed articles, the best I could, de-extinction. For you guys that don't know what that is exactly. Oh shit! $19 from the goat. Sir Jeets once again. God damn. Goat. That's goat status, man. Considering that I donated more than Batman. Oh shit! Damn. He called out Batman and Alexa.
The double GG, bro.
Yeah, Sir Jeets is a fucking goat, man. It's a fucking goat. Let me put that on the screen real quick, man. I appreciate that, brother. Highly appreciate it, man. Give me a second here. I scale above Batman GG's. Sheesh. Damn, man. We got ballers all. We got a bunch of ballers in here. Give me a second, folks, and we shall continue.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's fucking dope, man.
That's a real one right there, bro. No doubt.
Oh, yeah. Sergius is a fucking goat, man. All these people are goats, for sure. Give me a second, folks. Put this on the screen. I shall continue. Where is it? Here it is. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. But continuing on. So de-extinction, for you guys that are not familiar with it, is basically the scientific practice of trying to reestablish species that are now considered extinct. So it's basically reversing extinction and reintroducing species into their environments, into their habitats successfully. So what these things consist of, the current methods in which these things are achieved are backbreeding, which is aka selective breeding, which you can see with dogs and things of that nature, cloning, and genome editing. So these are the three main strategies according to the Institution of National Sciences, I think it's called. However, there is a limitation due to the very half-life of DNA itself. And for you guys that don't know what half-life is, it's the amount of time it takes for one half of the radioactive isotope to decay. So essentially, for it to cease to exist, it breaks down periodically over time until it no longer is present. So that's how DNA works. The half-life of DNA is 521 years. So the furthest we can go back as far as species is around that time, about half a millennia. That means species that are, millennia old or more are beyond the point of saving, like dinosaurs and ancient fish, ancient mammals. They're no longer feasible as far as de-extinction is considered, unless they discover how to reverse half-life or extend DNA's half-life. That'd be an insane feat, which obviously I don't think they're able to do right now.
If I may,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say there might be a way to preserve DNA more than its natural decay. And,
right. That makes sense.
If it preserved in chemicals or in ice or underneath pressure or something of that sort.
That's a good point. Because if you do have the DNA present, you could theoretically suspend it in conditions where decay is decreased, at least significantly, like on ice. So that's definitely true. And that would extend the half-life considerably if it's under the right conditions. There's also this fun fact that I learned of absolute zero, where at this absolute zero is the notion that molecules cease to move whatsoever. So I don't think those conditions are currently possible, at least currently in science, at least as far as I'm aware of. But there are other planets that NASA has concluded to reach those temperatures. I think it's somewhere in the range of negative 400 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
I think it's around there. And at that point, everything ceases to move. It's beyond preservation. It's sustainment of the current present state, which is insane to think about. So if they theoretically could maybe synthetically replicate those conditions, they could theoretically completely preserve DNA 100% to where the half-life wouldn't even be a factor. So I don't think that's currently possible right now. Currently, I would say most likely not. So because of that, again, some species, the DNA is already gone, like a dinosaur. You can't, extrapolate DNA. It no longer exists, so unfortunately. Also, what I did learn, which is interesting, is that this world, this field of science is still in its infancy stages, because apparently the de-extinction literature is still very incoherent like so implying that it's in its infancy stages, which makes sense because de-extinction is a fairly new idea in the world of academia. So I don't think any successful trials will come to fruition for at least a few decades, if not centuries, currently.
Yeah, I agree, bro. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're definitely in an infancy stage. So what you're saying with like bringing species almost at the brink of extinction back from that
yeah,
is definitely possible because we have live specimens to like work with. But animals like you're saying that have been extinct for so long, they're very hard to bring back based off the natural decaying rate of molecules in their natural environments. But
right.
I have seen articles about like the woolly mammoth being a possible specimen to bring back because of its DNA being preserved in ice.
That's
The dodo bird,
Oh,
they're
I see
able
what you're
to like
saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
uh, like the genome editing. You said it perfectly. Like they're actually able to essentially replicate this genome,
Yeah,
preserve it, and then hopefully with advancements that come in the near future, we can actually make this de-extinction or bringing animals back from extinction
yeah,
actually manifestation. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
That's an amazing feat, to be honest. Truly,
yeah, I found it really intriguing.
and I
Definitely.
guess that because you brought that up, another possibility, if the environment plays nice, is that under ice, maybe scientists could find and extrapolate some DNA. Maybe it's already under ice in a natural setting. Maybe they find like
Absolutely, bro.
that's actually that'd be a smart thing to do. I'm sure they've already doing that. The greatest minds come
Yeah,
to that
that's what I was
conclusion.
saying with they're actually like on the verge of like replicating the woolly mammoth's genome as
Yeah,
well because it has been preserved in conditions where it is actually
that's
manageable to do
insane.
so.
Yeah, if they were able
So
to successfully
maybe
reintroduce them, that would be an insane feat.
if
They're
you
li-
could bring back one animal right now that you think that would benefit the world the most right now, like what would you choose?
that's a good question. To benefit the world, um, that's interesting. That's interesting. The only problem with reintroducing a species, because the way nature works is that it adjusts to the current species available. So if you reintroduce the wrong one, it could fuck up I would say the food chain and any such said
Yeah.
habitat, and that could be problematic. So I'm sure
You're thinking
scientists
like a
already know that.
T-Rex.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure what the scientists are going to do once they successfully do de-extinction, they're probably going to slowly reintroduce these species into nature, so it doesn't
Agreed.
disrupt the natural order of things. But
Mhm.
the one that would benefit the most, theoretically, maybe like some type of fish that like is resistant to things that aren't edible. Maybe like clean up the oceans or something like that. I don't know. Or
Yeah, I was thinking like not necessarily bringing it back, but just kind of like trying to populate it more. Is like just honeybees in general, bro. Like
oh,
they're
that'd be a good idea.
extremely
That's a
important
good
part of the
one. Yeah,
environment, bro. Like yeah,
yeah,
we
very
can't let those
useful.
go extinct at all.
Oh
You
no,
know,
no,
so
that would disrupt a lot of things.
that'd be
Pollination.
huge.
They carry on
Yeah,
their backs the very event of pollination, basically. So that's extremely important.
yeah,
But yeah, de-extinction is extremely interesting, though.
it is cool.
I definitely want to see how that progresses for sure. Yeah. Let's see what you guys have said here. I don't know about Ultra Ego Vegeta. That might be okay. They're talking about something. You, Jay the Great, is a Itachi fanboy. That's why you would never gonna say pain above Itachi. But that's the truth. Just eat
Mm,
it. Okay, that's the truth. Just eat it. That's a moronic statement because it's not the truth, and you can't establish that it's the truth objectively. The only thing
yeah,
debatable in this fight is Edo Nagato, Edo Itachi. Again, guys, this is an example of delusional arrogance that leads to
absolutism.
very short-sighted absolutism. Yeah, that's kind of sad. Um, let's
Thanks for
see.
the example, bro.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks
it, man.
for painting the perfect picture of what it means to be.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
very kind of you.
yeah, very delusional. My country desperately needs de-extinction. De-extinction. Yeah, there's certain countries that have a lot of species going extinct or near extinction, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
You think
At a rapid
Destiny?
rate.
Yeah, exactly. Very rapidly. You think Destiny is right about a lot of what he says about the Red Pill community and its rhetoric? Destiny. So I've heard some of his thoughts on the matter. I would say this. I think Destiny he's a bright guy. He's clever. But this is what I would say about his rhetoric. I think his premises for the critiques of the Red Pill are very emotionally based. I don't think they're very empirically based. He's kind of giving his opinion on the very procedures that people that engage in this community operate in, like how they live their
Mhm.
lives. He kind of speaks in absolutes, which again, going back to that not being the best way to approach things, is not the best way to combat the red pill. At least the ideology of it. Destiny has some points. Maybe he kind of reiterates the delivery of the red pill isn't the best. I'll admit that. They could deliver the messages better, like a Jordan Peterson or something like that. But as far as the practicality of it, I think his critiques aren't that good, or I guess you could say correct. They're not very valid to me. I think he gets a little emotional and flustered when he talks about this with the right person. So he's a bright guy though. I think he's a cool dude, despite him not being politically affiliated with my side of things. I still think he's a good dude. I give him props for going on these shows that are red pill dominated, and he's willing to discuss it. So I do give him props for that. But yeah,
interesting. I haven't heard much of his stuff at all, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
apparently for some reason in the debate community, he's like highly respected. I guess he was in the community years ago. I don't know. I've never heard him debates. I've never seen him in this community. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, the deer have become a massive pest, destroying the ecosystem, and our predators are extinct. Or maybe they could reintroduce a hell of a predator that would chop down the numbers at least. Because you can definitely say that too many herbivores could be problematic. If there's not enough predators, not enough competition, it could be problematic for all the vegetation actually. Because there's too many.
There's a shit ton of deer, bro. Like they're almost like pathetic, literally. But I like wildlife, but like I don't know, it is a little excessive though. And there needs to be some balance. That's how nature's supposed to be in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know about coming from an emotional place, but I can see what you mean. Yeah, he doesn't really use empirical evidence to suggest his claims. Like the guys I watch, they use empirical evidence, statistics, general trends, implications of trajectory, like statistical methods to imply their premise, which is more valid to me than, oh man, this is terrible, man, this shouldn't happen. Like that's not the best rationalization to me. That's what he does. That's what he does a lot, in my opinion. I think a lot of his arguments are taking empirical evidence yet trying an emotional and disingenuous approach, so I largely agree with you. Yeah, basically. It depends on who he is debating and how many times he has to repeat the point if everyone is interrupting. Yeah, there's sometimes he's interrupted, but I've seen him go against, like, good red pill advocates, and in my opinion, he doesn't fare well. Makes some good points, but yeah. I think against Tate. Oh, shit, Sure G's back with another $10, man. Holy shit. Holy shit. I appreciate that, brother. He's definitely the big baller, man. Give me a second here.
I love Full Metal Alchemist too, Sir G. Definitely, bro. It's such a good show, man.
I've heard a lot of positive reception when it comes to Full Metal Alchemist. Give me a second here, folks. Let's see what his question is. Damn, why is this picture so large? Give me a second here, folks, while I do this.
Which one?
Let's see, where is it at? Alright. We shall answer your question in quick succession. Feel free to keep asking questions, folks, hit the like button, etc. We'll continue on. Is it this one? Wait, I must have not. I don't think I saved it. Give me a second, folks. Who would win between Roy Mustang versus Shikamaru? Oh yeah, you probably know more about that than I do, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. So Roy Mustang, he's like essentially like this. He's like an alchemist that like he can combust like the air around him, and like he can like utilize it as like a gun or like a projectile, if you will.
Yeah.
I've never power scaled Full Metal Alchemist, though, to be honest. I just always watched it as like a. Like this as like a casual enjoyer, I never really...
yeah.
But I would say probably Roy would take that, unless I don't know, dude. Shikamaru has the paralysis. They're probably relative in speed. It comes down to how fast can Roy combust the air around Shikamaru.
Yeah.
Is Shikamaru fast enough to dodge the projectiles? But when it comes to Hack's abilities, like the shadow paralysis, the intellect that Shikamaru possesses, it's definitely in his favor. It really comes down to speed of Roy's powers, and that's pretty much it, though, because he's not. I don't think he's that fast at all compared to Shikamaru. So that's a tough one, though, man.
Yeah. If I knew the scaling, I'd probably help, but yeah, I don't know anything about Full Metal. But I definitely want to check it out.
Full Metal.
Really? Really they're talking about reintroducing the Scottish wolf or European lynx. Interesting. I think,
Sorry, Jeets.
yeah, as cruel as it sounds, there must be balance between prey and predator. Absolutely. For the natural order of things to continue to
Oh,
progress.
dude, the lynx is one of my favorite animals. Dude. This shit's
Yeah,
so badass,
they're very like very cool looking too. Yeah, definitely.
bro. Yeah.
No, I see him use statistics a bit, but when he does, there's usually an obvious, blatant factor he ignores or just comes to the complete wrong answer as to why. Yeah, Destiny
Mm.
needs to remove his emotions a little bit. And honestly, what I've seen, I'm not gonna lie, I've seen him not convert, like blatantly convert to red pill ideology, but I've seen him change his ways a little bit. It seems that like he's opening his eyes to, not to say the red pill ideology is perfect, because none is. There's no such thing as a perfect ideology, but like I've debated before, the red pill ideology is very practical and very, it leads to great success if you utilize it in real time with women and your success, etc. So, despite the
Mhm.
the cruel delivery you could hear from someone like Tate, it is very very good advice. So, he's definitely a better debater than Hassan Piker. I've heard Hassan debate. Dude, I saw him debate a former federal agent on what is the Fifth Amendment. It was a
Are
pathetic
you
display.
serious?
He's trying to tell a former federal agent that delved into this field of discipline that he's wrong on the Fifth Amendment. I'm like, dude, you're a Twitch streamer, bro. This guy is a former federal agent, and you're gonna tell him he's wrong about it? Okay, man.
Yikes. That's
That's
tough. How
very
would you
very
even do that?
yeah. Like he was playing contrarian. That's all he was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to get his rhetoric up or something, you
Yeah,
know?
like Hassan is not a good debater. He's very bad. Destiny would probably slap him.
From what I've heard, yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I actually like when
Definitely.
I first saw Hassan, I was like, oh, this guy like a very respected political entity, and no, he's not.
No.
What about Andrew Tate makes you a fan? So when it comes to Andrew Tate, what makes me a fan is his advice. I like the rawness of it. I know it's not everyone's taste. Not everyone wants to hear like, oh, you're a fat motherfucker. Go to the gym. I understand that. It could be a little cruel, but that's my cup of tea, I suppose. And I think pain and I would say acknowledgement of your flaws forces change. If you're comfortable, you won't want to change. And I think hearing the cold hard truth is a catalyst for change. And I think Tate's good at doing that. So I respect his ways of looking at the world for what it really is. You know, he's not really trying to save feelings. Instead, he's trying to save you in a way, save yourself, and to help you improve. You
He's
know,
not beating around the bush, right? He's
exactly.
just telling you how things are. You know, if you
Yeah,
want to be
and
sensitive about it, then
yeah, if you
go
want to be
ahead. But
sensitive, that's not your thing. Then you're gonna have to listen to someone like Jordan Peterson, who's more elegant. He's more elegant
but
in
the
his
point of
delivery.
his is the point of what he's trying to say is not to bash you or belittle you. It's
Yeah, it's
actually
not.
the opposite. He's trying to grow you as an individual. And
Yeah,
sometimes people are hella stubborn, dude. So
exactly.
those people need that especially. So
Yeah, it's
honestly,
pragmatic, and it's pragmatic. It's not idealistic.
exactly.
It's pragmatic.
Mhm.
It's realism versus idealism. Idealism is every relationship ends in Disney fairy tale. All marriages succeed, and every girl will love you no matter what flaws you have. That's not the real world. You know, it's
Nah,
bullshit.
bro, it's not reality.
Fairy tales are a blatant lie. You know, most marriages end in divorce, with most divorces being initiated by the women in those divorces because of what they call irreconcilable differences, which is AKA they're not attracted to you anymore. They want someone who
Yeah,
makes more money.
exactly.
That's the truth, and Tate gives that truth harshly, yes, but even so, he gives the truth like it should, like you should, despite the risk of being offended. I think telling the truth is going to inevitably result in the risk of offending someone, but I think that's a necessary risk that you must take for the truth.
I've kind of gotten the conception that uh, as generations increase, we kind of get more sensitive with how
Agreed.
things are said, or
Agreed.
a lot more politically correct, or we're a lot more, apprehensive to say certain things
Yeah,
because of how people may like cancel them or whatever.
I agree.
Um, so that's why I think it's even more outlandish for someone like him to do at this time.
Agreed.
That's just what
I
I've
think
gathered.
that what's happening is that there's this intangible spectrum with this needle constantly being moved to the side of emotion rather than logic. I think the needle's heavily on the emotion side to the point where it's detrimental to public discourse. You can't even
Uh-huh.
remotely tell the truth because any risk or any infraction of offending results in you being crucified on social media. You're automatically
Exactly.
you're deemed malevolent, you're deemed a villain, you're vilified, demonized, etc. because you told the truth and it resulted in someone being offended. You say, "Oh, you're fat, man," and you get crucified for it when the person is objectively medically considered obese. Like, dude, that's the real world we're in. You can't just get offended and try to crucify the guy when he's right. It's
Yeah, you're not helping the person by beating around the bush. Like, just
yeah.
tell them how it is.
Tell
They
them how
need
it
to
is.
learn. If
Yeah,
they can't do it on their own time, that's why they have people like us to influence that in the first place.
exactly. Like
Like Andrew Tate.
what forces change is uncomfortableness. That's what forces change. Comfortability only results in complacency, and that's not a good
Absolutely.
philosophy to have in life in general. You're complacent with your obesity. You're complacent with you're not getting any pussy. Like, no, man, change. And that bad
Yeah,
feeling
do
that you
something
get,
about it.
yeah, do something about it
Yeah.
instead of being mad that you're offended. That you're offended because you know they're right. That's the problem. So if you don't want to be offended, fix it. So I like to say there is inherent truth to the red pill worldview. Agreed. It's pragmatic improvement through generations. Exactly. Who do you think is more life
Absolutely, bro.
changing, Andrew Tate or Jordan? If we're talking about numbers, Tate has a larger reach, but
I fucks with Jordan more.
I Jordan is more elegant in his delivery, more profound. Yeah, his delivery is a little better. I think it appeals to more of the populace in comparison to Tate. Tate, it resonates more so with guys that are used to banter, guys that are used to being shit talked. But Jordan is elegant to the masses almost entirely. Ironically, even he
He,
gets crucified for the things he says, and he says them very elegantly, which is very
yeah.
hilarious. But
They have two different types of intellect, though. I think like Andrews is like raw, natural, intuitive
agreed. Yeah,
intelligence,
I agree.
life experience, all that kind of stuff. Like that's raw
Agreed. Yeah,
knowledge. And then Jordan's like the scholar, philosopher. He's very articulate, like you said. It's
yeah,
just two different types of like knowledge to both
yeah.
appreciate, honestly.
I agree. Yeah, Tate's is more so raw, unfiltered. Maybe I wouldn't say unorganized. He's pretty organized with his thoughts. This is more raw and
Yeah,
unfiltered and brutal. While Jordan's is more elegant, profound, philosophical. So more people probably resonate with Jordan. If I lined up like 100 people, more probably would line up with Jordan. Even though Tate has a more influence now, number wise, because his name is out there even more. But yeah,
yeah.
Andrew Tate is summed up in 2 words: tough love. Exactly, it's a perfect way to put it.
Literally, that man.
Yeah, it's literally what he's doing. He cares, man, for sure. You guys think if Pain knows about Kamui like Conan did? In my opinion, she would tell Nagato his intel. Do you think Pain would beat Orange Mask Obito? I think he could definitely win in this situation. So if he knew about him,
What about Conley?
if he knew about Kamui, would he be able to beat him? I think the speed is the most contentious part by far. Because if he's not fast enough, he just won't hit him. But it's hard to tell. It's hard to compare those two. The way Obito kind of speaks of Nagato, calling him a subordinate and things of that nature, I tend to lean with Obito. That's not a lot of empirical evidence to suggest that, but that's probably what I would say. I'd probably lean towards Obito.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just because you have like some extra knowledge about the said technique in question doesn't mean you can necessarily counteract it if you don't have the necessary tangible abilities to do
Exactly.
so in
Yeah,
the first
exactly.
place.
Yeah.
Obito was a sav at 14 years old. Now we have Orange Mask Obito, who's like
Yeah,
way more developed. You know what I mean?
he's grown.
Um,
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, he just scales above pain. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, so again, like even if you know about Kamui, what are you gonna do when he just keeps being invulnerable, keeps facing through your attacks? Um, I don't know. It's an interesting one though, for sure. Knowledge would
Agreed.
definitely help, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
agree. I
think that's
agree
really
completely.
the outlier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
knowledge only works if there's some established relativity or superiority. If there's not, then you knowing about them isn't going to change shit. So
hmm
that's probably the case with this. Would Naruto attempt to bring his parents back to life? I don't think he's that type of character. I don't think he would do that. I don't think so. He has a moral
yeah. I don't
compass.
think so either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not an
absolutely.
Orochimaru or something like that. So
He would have already done it by now, so Kage, especially
yeah,
if he
he definitely
wanted
would have.
to.
Yeah, he definitely would have done it by now for sure. Have either of you heard of Marcellus Aurelius? On it, I've heard of
I,
that. I think I've heard of that. I've heard of him and his book as well. I just haven't checked that
Marcus
out.
Aurelius. I have not heard of him. No.
Yeah, I've heard of him, but yeah, besides that, I don't know much of him. I've heard of the book as well. I have heard of that, but I don't really have any thoughts on it because I don't really know of him or his book.
What
Do
does
you,
it entail of essentially?
from my
Gotcha.
understanding, oh yeah, you could tell us, yeah, because you probably know more than we do.
Well, you do, bro. If you do, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think the Matrix is starting to crack down on the Tate brothers? So this is my take on the Tates and their incarceration. I think Romania
Uh-oh.
is definitely having some sort of bias towards the Tates. The way it works in Romania, from my understanding, is that a judge is allowed to keep you in confinement for up to 180 days, with basically
Damn.
no empirical evidence to suggest so. It's solely the judge's discretion. Um,
Fuck that.
which is very, very unfair to me. I think that's a huge flaw in the Romanian justice system. That's bullshit. They shouldn't be able to keep you for fucking months just because they feel like it. They would
180 days,
yeah,
bro.
they can keep
Six
them for that
months.
long, and they've already kept them
Fuck
for
that.
currently about 40, 45 days or so.
Yeah, get out
But
of there, dog.
yeah, I think that's bullshit. I do think the Matrix is cracking down on them. I think that the Romanian justice system are not giving the two the benefit of the doubt, which is the way the legal system should work. It should be innocent until proven guilty, not vice versa, because that's just extremely disingenuous. The world wouldn't operate very good if that's the way we operated. So simply put, I do think they're cracking down on him. I think on both. I think it's unfair, and I think if they do get off scot free and that they're legitimately innocent, they should get the hell out of Romania as soon as possible. They should depart quickly, because clearly they have it out for them. So
Yeah, why even try to have businesses in there and improve their economy if they're doing dirt like
yeah,
that?
exactly. It's very,
I don't
very
know if
dirty. Yeah,
yeah, there's been no proof on these allegations whatsoever
none,
so far as we know.
none.
So it's like it seems very immoral to say
Yeah,
the
it's
least.
very, very
You know?
immoral. It's clearly a bias. It's clearly a bias. You can even argue that the Romanian justice system is doing this solely for the publicity that's coming to the country.
Hmm.
It's very, very probable. Continuing on. You need to read in his works and different translations. Okay, yeah, definitely gonna check that out. I've heard of him though. I have heard of him. It's based on the
Absolutely.
ideology of Stoicism, basically mastering yourself, steering
Yeah.
fate in your direction, and treasure. Yeah, exactly. That's basically what the red pill. Oh, the book you're talking about. Okay, so the book's about the ideology of Stoicism, basically mastering yourself, steering fate in your direction, and treasuring the time that you have with your loved ones. Stoicism, I believe, is a pretty good ideology to implement in your life. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. It's about being able to keep your emotions and all this information around you in check, essentially, and not
exactly.
allow it to phase you
It's
that much. You know.
basically systematically developing an iron frame is essentially stoicism. You develop the iron frame, you're able to handle
Hmm.
tough situations internally rather than extrinsically. Because what happens when, especially men, don't have good emotional self control is they become dangerous. That's how you get crazy motherfuckers like shooting up schools or wanting to kill people. That's what happens when you're the antithesis of stoic. You're a live wire. You're a loose cannon, essentially.
Very rational. Yeah.
Irrational. Logic starts to depart from your very mentality. You're more so emotionally triggered by things. It's not a good way to operate at all. Um, and I don't care which side of the political spectrum you're on. It's not smart to do so. So, do you believe Stoicism is the best way for men to live their lives? I think it's definitely one of the best ways. What it does is there's many, many benefits for you, extrinsically and intrinsically. Intrinsically, you're just able to handle tension better. You're able to live under pressure much better. You're better able to deduce things under pressure because you're stoic, etc. Also, extrinsically, if you want to be technical, you're more appealing to women because women inherently biologically desire masculine traits, and stoicism is definitely a masculine trait because stoicism
Yeah.
is it's the trait of a leader, right? And leaders need to be stoic.
Absolutely. Having
Um,
that like calm, cold demeanor about you,
exactly.
it's very attractive to a lot of people in terms of like giving others confidence because a lot of
Yeah.
people will actually lack that in the first place.
So in all
Um,
markets, you're just more appealing. Your professional market, the dating market, you're just more marketable and appealing to all those markets because of the very traits that you possess when you practice stoicism. Um,
mhm.
Most definitely. So I would say it's
Yeah,
definitely one of the best.
yeah, definitely one of the best. At the very least, it's certainly an accentuation to the life of a young man, especially. You know what I mean? And it
Exactly.
transcends into your future existence as well. It's
Yeah.
a great ideology to adopt for
Yeah.
sure.
Because with stoicism comes many things like
Yeah,
patience and The ability to deduce things in the toughest situations is very beneficial. Yeah. One of the 5 good emperors. Too bad his son. Okay, they're talking about something else. From what I understand, Marcus was an emperor of Rome, but he was so different than most of the other emperors. He was a philosopher who wrote and thought all day. Yeah, that's usually how it makes. Yeah. Now that I remember, I think that's
time, bro.
Yeah, I think I did read about him from a history book. I think that was the case. Now that I remember.
The last name's so Roman now when you say that.
Super Roman.
know?
Regardless, who's stronger, Itachi, Pain, or Obito? They're definitely the top 3 strongest Akatsuki, right? Yes, they are. They're kind of relative somehow. It's arguable, yeah. In my opinion, one ranking Obito. Okay, Edo Nagato is right below that, who's relative to Edo Itachi. Okay, I don't think that's crazy. And they're above Obito.
Yeah.
And then
if you take Obito's statement literally, then you could say, I guess, Itachi's relative to Obito as well, and then transitively relative to Pain as well, or Nagato, whatever.
Exactly. Edo Nagato, Edo Itachi, they're above Obito, so I'm assuming White Mask, and then Obito's above Pain, and Pain's above Itachi. That's not a bad list at all. I probably disagree, but I don't think you're crazy for having that list. So it's not absolute, right? Mine isn't either, so it doesn't. I think it's definitely a fair list and a fair analysis. A quote of his is, "The happiness of life depends on the quality of your thoughts." That's a good quote. I think that's true.
Edo Itachi above Obito.
Edo Itachi.
I thought I was reading on his thing. I was like, I don't know about that.
Edo Itachi above Obito. The toughest would be
Obito can't steal him.
Yeah, he can't steal him, then he would be above, and so would Edo Nagato. But tangibly, I don't think in speed at least, he doesn't scale above Obito. I don't think so.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
So yeah, but I see
what chain break for me. Yeah, I see what you mean though.
Yeah, I see what you mean. His writings are so poetic, and it feels so extremely relatable in the truest sense, which is weird because he was the most powerful man of the great ancient empire. Yeah, that means he was able to disassociate from his own subjective lens. Because if he's able to relate to you, despite him being so powerful, that's usually what that indicates. So it's an important trait to have if you want to appeal to the populace, for sure. Especially if you're a leader, you got to be able to relate. You can't just have like a superiority complex. That's not what leaders have.
The sense for delusional. Yeah, exactly.
What are your thoughts? Exactly. What are your thoughts on the black pill stuff? Black pill. I've heard of it, but let me see what it is again. Content. I've heard of it, but I forgot what exactly it meant. Look, black pill. Okay, so this is a fucking hit piece. So I don't want to read this crap. Misogynist incels and males. So get the fuck out of here. I'm not gonna read that bullshit.
What the hell, bro?
Yeah, whenever I look up red pill or black pill on these mainstream search engines, this is a bunch of like hit pieces. I'm like, wow, you got way to stay objective, Google.
I know, right, dude?
Yeah, bullshit.
That's sus, man.
Taking the black pill means accepting a harsher reality than the red pill reveals. Oh, so it's like a more radical red pill ideology. Interesting. Let me see. Let's see. What's the difference between? Offers only 2 options what to do with their new accepted reality: accept their fate as an incel, or try to change society to benefit. Try to change society to their benefit.
To their benefit. Gotcha.
Interesting. Usually advocate as potential achievable by means of mass. What the fuck? I'm sure this is not the black pill he meant. Mass violence and terror. What the fuck is this?
I don't think.
That's not what he meant. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I that. Yeah.
Google's not a good place to look this up because clearly there's a bunch of hate piece of crap. Fuck that shit.
If you could explain the.
Yeah, if you want to explain it, I've heard of it and I forgot what it meant. I think I did remember. Most people with that much power become drunk, but his thoughts and ideas transcended empires. Yeah, this is what I say about power and money. It doesn't change you. It just amplifies more of who you really are. That's what it does. We've seen guys that are extremely powerful that are great people, like maybe like Bezos or Musk, or even Tate to some extent. And then we see people just completely go, shits deep in malevolence, like an Epstein or that one piece of shit that would use his power to get actresses to do shit for him. I forgot his fucking name. Weinstein, I think was his name. That fat fuck.
Yeah.
That's power going to your head. And the truth is, they were already those people, but now they have more means to continue to express who they really are. exactly. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, it's definitely it doesn't automatically grant one happiness. I mean,
exactly.
happiness is something that we all define subjectively, and
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
something that's more so earned as opposed to just given to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know. It's just like without that really being earned in your life, money or the superficial things that come into your life won't alleviate it. So it does often lead to depression or suicide or
Exactly.
just drugs to escape. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's rather sad, but it's a motif that we can see time and time again
Yeah.
with
It's
celebrities or you name it. You know?
exactly because it's not really about the fruit of your labor. I mean, it's cool to have money and power. It's more so the character you develop in achieving those things. That's what really the benefit is. And that's how you enjoy like your life. You know, if you just are awarded money and power without any effort inputted into that equation, then it usually doesn't go as well for you.
Yeah, if you didn't earn it, you don't really care about it. You know,
Yeah,
you're
and,
just like,
and it's
oh,
yeah, you
cool.
don't appreciate it as much. But yeah, do you think most LGBTQ are peer pressured or forced into leaning into left ideology? I would say so. This is what I think happens. That's a good question. So if you're a minority, right, like LGBTQ or whatever the case may be, what's ironic is that people that are not minorities, let's say they're just left winging people, they try to coerce you into acknowledging their ideology and forcing it down your throat. When in reality, there's some people that are LGBTQ that are not left wing, but they're being peer pressured by these radical leftists to become so. You know, there's some like regularly cool people that are LGBTQ or whatever, and they shouldn't
Yeah,
have to, subject themselves to any ideology. They don't want to. It doesn't like to them. It's like, yeah, I'm LGBTQ, but so what? I'm just another person. You know, I'm not special, and that's to me those are like that's cool people. They don't have to they don't have to lean into that if they don't want to. But yet, radical leftists try to coerce these people into leaning into that ideology. This is very bizarre. When the very supposedly the very purpose of being left wing is to help these people, but instead you're trying to force an ideology down their throat. Like it's very counterproductive.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and it happens on both sides. To be fair, it happens on the right as well. So there's constant like forcing and shoving these ideologies down their throats taking place. So, which I think is a problem. I think you should let people decide on their own. Honestly. Black pill is basically when red pill people get super depressed about the state of society and spirals down into hopelessness, offing yourself, etc. Okay, so it's like,
yeah, absolutely
uh,
true though.
yeah, so that's what it is. So my thoughts on that. I think wallowing is always a bad ideology and a bad way of doing things. You shouldn't wallow. You should improve your circumstances instead. So I would suggest don't conform with the black pill if that's what it is. It's not going to help you. So, how do you feel about the 4 objects that were shot down in American airspace in the last 48 hours? I think I heard about that. Apparently, another one was found in Montana within the last few hours. You guys worried about global war? I think it
I've
is.
not heard about this at all.
I think I heard of a balloon. It was a Chinese owned air balloon or something like that in United States airspace. That is very
Okay.
bizarre. The way I look at it is it's definitely probably some like technological mechanical device that probably takes information from the sky or something like that. Um,
Oh,
I think that's kind of shots being thrown necessarily by China. They have some sort of plan. And for people that don't know, TikTok is basically spyware. China basically owns TikTok and they take all your information, etc. That's why
wow.
Texas is actually trying to ban TikTok because of the spyware implications that TikTok presents.
That's so toxic, bro.
Yeah, China, the
Nothing new
CCP,
though.
the CCP is smart because they created this extremely addictive application that
Uh
the
huh.
majority of the populace, especially the young populace, uses. So it's
Oh
easy to
yeah,
just absorb all this data from the young populace in the United States. Easy,
that's
because everyone's fucking
crazy,
addicted to it.
bro.
You know,
Yeah,
the
instant
CCP.
gratification, right?
Exactly. They're literally playing and they're exploiting that very tendency that young people have. So the
Definitely.
CCP definitely has something up their sleeve. Just who knows what it is. Um, yeah.
That's
Um,
crazy, bro.
tensions. Tensions. Yeah, I do think there's more and more tension brewing with China and the United States. I do. That's true.
Two
Oh yeah,
very
go ahead.
powerful nations. I don't know if we're actually going to go to like war with one of them.
Yeah, here's the thing about war now. We
Yeah.
all have nuclear capability, and that's a lose-lose for everyone because the entire globe would be a fucking cesspool of shit, and no one would be able to live on it. So I doubt that
Yeah,
will come to
exactly.
be. Yeah, it's not World
We're
War II
allied with
where.
too many people, bro.
Yeah, it's not like
Like,
World War One or World War Two where you have at best a B-52 bomber dropping on a city. Like, okay, that's not gonna fuck up your country. But now with nuclear warheads and the radiation that would emit from that, it would destroy everything. I don't
yeah,
think anyone
we'd be
has the
gone.
no one has the guts to hit that red button. No superpower because they know better.
Dude, that'd be so fucked up,
Yeah,
bro.
everyone would be fucked. The entire probably globe would be done for. You know,
We're
so
talking about extinction earlier, bro. That would be a
exactly. That's an
huge thing.
extinction event. That's an extinction
Yeah,
event right there. So spy plane.
literally is.
Uh, I haven't heard of the other objects, but I'm sure if they said a spy plane is one of them, then that's very very suspicious.
Yeah, that's sus as hell, bro.
Yeah,
That's
there
not
is a
not a
balloon.
good look, bro.
There is a balloon in SC. Yeah, I think I've heard of. That's the one I heard of. One in Alaska, one in Canada, and one in Montana. Interesting,
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Yeah, that's very, very suspicious. The CCP definitely has some plans under their sleeve. There was a. Did you hear about what's happening in Ohio and how no one is talking about? Uh,
Jeez. No.
the exploding trains making acid rain and killing wildfire and how
Exploding
Jesus,
train?
what is going on in Ohio? Acid rain and killing wildlife and how they're downplaying the event. Really, that
No,
was very, very
apocalypse
bizarre.
did this, dude. Yeah.
Wow, I'd never heard about that. They're definitely downplaying it. Definitely. That's very bizarre. They should definitely get on top of that. That's very problematic.
Here's
Uh,
what the media will tell you and leave out. That should be
exactly.
something that should be pretty big news,
It's
dude.
very yeah. It's very
Oh,
ironic. Very ironic that the media, their mainstream media claims that they're an unbiased source of information when they're the literal antithesis of that. That's hilarious. Like you
hey, maybe
literally
fake news is really a thing,
yeah, it's
man.
fake news. Selective news as well. Selective. They select what they
Yeah,
want us to hear and what they don't. It's very
no
hilarious.
doubt.
Um, and Ohio clearly doing so. There's many other aspects we can get into, but it gets extremely political if I bring up more, and we'll probably get fucking yellow flagged in this video. So, plus poisoning the water as a result. Really, that's very very problematic.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. No,
Yeah.
that'd be extremely detrimental to the surrounding environment for sure.
Yeah,
And the people,
the objects still have yet to be published officially. Really? Okay.
Mm.
So what they are and where they are from? Oh, okay. So we don't know if they're from China. My estimation, if there was one already confirmed to be from China, then it's very very bizarre. Uh, for real, we'd be like dinosaurs. Yeah, we'd be fucked. Yeah. Can I join the podcast and talk with you?
Reverse evolution.
We're gonna have a talk show. We do call-in shows where people can call in. We're probably gonna do it in about
Yeah, no doubt.
let me see, maybe about 2 weeks from now, 3. We'll do another call-in show. Yeah. So if you want to call in, more than welcome to. They shut down 2 UFOs recently. Really? Animals are dying and stuff too. Oh yeah. I mean, human interference has caused a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and this whole industrialization is only literally just begun in terms of a geographical time scale. So
Exactly.
we're barely even chipping at it, and we're
Yeah.
doing it at a rapid rate
Barely
too.
scratching the surface. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the door for not to just talk to you, but just to talk to you as a person. Well, that's why we have the call-in shows, right? We here it's just us two, or usually Batman as well. But
Yeah, call shows are
yeah,
fun too, bro. You should definitely join, man. We try to do them as often as we'll
yeah.
definitely.
So
But
if you
yeah,
want to
they're a
do, if
good
you do
time.
want to talk to us, yeah, that's the place to do it. That's where we are able to talk to you guys. So, but only in Ohio, bro. What the fuck? Yeah, it's interesting. By the way, have you guys heard of many meteors missing that missed Earth not much many
Mm.
years ago? I'm always seeing like meteors that will enter Earth's atmosphere that missed. So I'm pretty sure I probably have heard about it. It's scary knowing that a gigantic, gargantuan piece of rock could hit Earth. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, dude. We keep fucking up our planet and global warming. We're just gonna keep eradicating
Yeah.
the ozone layer, and it's gonna make meteors a really big possibility in the
And what will
future for
happen
sure.
is if
Yeah.
you thin out the ozone layer, the very defense that the Earth has will be minimized, and bigger pieces
Exactly.
will hit. They'll hit land. They won't just disintegrate in the atmosphere.
That's not
So
questionable at that point. Yeah, it's
yeah,
gonna
like
happen.
So I'm sure humanity's like the scientific community's like probably scrambling to try to negate that that very event of the thinning of the ozone layer. Definitely. There's going to be one in 2029 too. Probably, I'm sure about it. I'm sure for sure. But to see these questions here, you guys can continue to keep asking questions. Make sure to hit the like button as well. This has actually been a very, actually surprisingly political podcast. I actually like it though.
We're very like well versed in topics.
Very well versed. So we appreciate all you guys' questions. Again, we're all open to politics as well. We're not just anime only. So feel free to ask anything, man. So
yes, sir.
Someone asked, best podcast you can recommend? Depends what your purpose of watching them is. If it's just entertainment, you can never go wrong with Joe Rogan. Joe has a vast variety of guests he's brought on from every field of discipline, really. So that's probably the best overall one I can recommend. If you want more intellectually based, Jordan Peterson.
I listen to Star Talk a lot with like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, that's a great one.
There's a lot of good like scientists and experts in different fields of study. All the time. If you guys are interested in that,
it's a very good one. Check him out. Yeah, it's a good one. Lex Friedman, very good. He's very intelligent as well. Fresh and Fit. Hey, shout out to Fresh and Fit. This is actually where I got this noise from. This fucking soundtrack noise. Shout out to Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit's they're red pill content. So if you want like to learn how to make money, how to be better with women, stuff like that, check them out.
They're real with it too.
They're real. Like they have call-in shows too, and they're real. They'll be like, "Yeah, if someone calls in like saying they're struggling, they'll tell you straight up, like, dude, you're fucking up. Like, get your shit together." That's literally what they'll do. So,
nice, dude. I mean, hey, that's what they needed.
That's real too. Yeah. Is it a factor cap that history in school is BS? Now that's a pretty good question. This is what I'll say about it. I think history, for the most part, isn't cap. I don't think they're fabricating like World War II and the Roman empires. I don't think they're doing that. But what I do think they're doing is that they're twisting the narrative of such a history to benefit their own ideology. I do think they're doing that, like the Christopher Columbus events when he and the Europeans came to to the lands, and they just paint them as disgusting, pathetic people for destroying the Native Americans when ironically they're destroying themselves on a daily basis. It's like that's twisting the narrative. So I do think that the implications of such a history could be fabricated or distorted. I do think that's happening in schools for sure, but I don't think the history itself is being like fabricated though. So
definitely not. And I think depending on where like school is taught and what demographic you're in, they definitely like paint a narrative to like fit that as well.
Exactly.
So and also as we learn more as a society, I mean, I'm just taking like America for example, like stuff like Christopher Columbus and other stuff that we've been told is actually not accurately teached upon us at a young age. So a lot of things that like Pluto, like think about Pluto, right?
Yeah.
Like things keep evolving with their ideologies and what we considered actual facts. So it is interesting. Take it with a grain of salt. There's a lot of information out there nowadays with the internet to really get a good grip of what actually happened, though.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I do think that the history is definitely being contorted to whatever ideological benefit. So I do think that's happening. Will we pass through a meteor stream twice every single year? The Taurid meteor stream. Oh yeah, I think technically, from what I've read, it happens all the time. It's just the meteors are insignificant. They just never reach.
Exactly.
But for one to be so big to actually hit Earth, that's rare. So, okay. So why do we get graded on percent basis in history class if what we learn is bullshit? I see what you're saying. Now, I would say it was bullshit if tests contain subjective questions. Like, is what Columbus did good? Then that would be a problem. If it's just more so just what happened, then I guess a percent criteria is fine. But I see what you mean, though. I do. Let's see what other questions were asked down here. Okay, feel free to keep asking questions, folks, if you have any and all. So this is a more miscellaneous one. Burgers or pizza? Me personally, that's a tough one because I like both quite a bit as well. Probably
crazy on pizza, bro. I'm just gonna say it, guys. Like, dang, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, probably burgers as well. Yeah. Yeah, probably burgers. I
Because you
like
can
pizza
make
though.
whatever. You can make some like craft ass burgers, bro. I'm
Oh
telling you,
yeah,
dog.
oh yeah. There's a lot of versatility with it. Um,
Absolutely.
let's see, Saitama versus Naruto.
Naruto,
Naruto,
definitely.
yeah,
Especially nowadays.
yeah, for sure. um, if you're talking about who would win a fight, I think Naruto would have to be near his prime to stand a chance against current Saitama. Saitama can like he has like feats where he's like blowing away stars or something like that. So that's pretty impressive. Um,
Yeah, definitely. Once you
so
take the whole like one punch thing hyper literally, and he's just
yeah,
a gag character, then
then no one can beat him almost. So
it's not a discussion. Then yeah.
yeah. Question: if you had found out anyone around, was it Pred? Would you fuck with them? Fine. I think you meant to put Predator. Okay, yeah. Was it Predator? Would you fuck with them? Family
Would
or
you
not?
fuck with him?
No, I wouldn't.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely
fuck
not.
no.
No.
They have pedophilic in nature interactions. Absolutely not. It's done. It's a wrap.
But I think as a family member, though, like you're the only person who would probably be willing to give that person
Yeah,
rehabilitation in the first place, and
yeah.
I think they mentally have something wrong with them,
I
obviously.
agree.
No.
If it's a family member, obviously the stipulations are different. You're probably gonna want to help
Yeah,
them instead, which you should because clearly they have
get some
fucking
treatment,
problems. Yeah,
like therapy, something, bro, because that shit needs to change, dog.
yeah.
Definitely,
That's extremely
no tolerance
problematic.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't fuck with them. Definitely not. But I'd get them help though.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Do you think you can rehabilitate a predator if that person says that his addiction, or do you think they need death or years of? So that's a pretty good question. This is a way to look at it. Bare minimum, they need great help. It really depends on the severity of their actions and how much they've acted upon these. I guess you could say impulses.
Deeds.
Yeah, if they're
Yeah,
fucking like EDP, that motherfucker needs probably jail time. At that point, if they're more so barely like kind of acting upon it, they do need help nonetheless. Um,
well, here's the thing: if they're a repeat offender, I mean, automatically they need incarceration at the very least,
agreed.
and
Yeah, agreed.
incarceration is a form of rehabilitation in some way or
Exactly.
another.
Yeah, it is.
And
Yeah.
then if you get out of that, and then you get into counseling or some other form of therapy, then you can make a great change in your life. But it all depends on the individual question. Like, are you like really bad, like in this addiction, or is it something that's just kind of like a subtle impulse, if you will? I don't know.
Agreed. Yeah.
You
And
know,
as
but
far as the question is, can you rehabilitate a predator? It depends on the person. It depends on the person.
exactly.
If one is
And yeah,
extremely like conflicted and I would say deeply harmed by this impulse, and a high likelihood that he's gonna have to be put on check for the rest of his life. But if it's someone that is battling with it, is like somewhat a normal, decent person, then it's possible that that could change.
you
Really
can get out of
depends.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So it completely depends upon the person specifically in question. So, yeah, history nowadays is being fabricated to fit a woke narrative of the people who want to brainwash kids to be a victim. So yeah, like I said before, there's definitely twisting of the narrative being taken place.
Yeah,
Absolutely, because there's indoctrination taking place. I don't think indoctrination should exist remotely in any field of education. I think that's deeply harmful, deeply harmful. And I understand if you're a political science major or something, there's inevitable opinion that will arise because politics is extremely ambiguous. I understand that. But if you're in fucking
hmm
elementary and your teacher's telling you that, she's feeding you these narratives about the political spectrum and about you should be this person and that because of this, that's deeply harmful. Like stick to 1 + 1 = 2, man. I don't want to fuck my fucking kid learning about, your fucking political ideology. I don't want to hear about that. So
exactly, bro. Leave that shit out of that.
yeah, so
Definitely.
absolutely not. Um, do you think if Guy was in the Leaf Village when Pain attacked, he would have to use 8 gates to take down all the paths? I don't think Guy alone would be Pain unless he goes 8 gates. More than likely, probably would need the 8 gates. Uh,
Yeah, I've talked about this before, actually. Like, so if he even goes into the seventh gate and like that's a Hirodora, let's say, that thing is fucking massive in radius, and it would probably like just fuck up the village even more,
it probably
and that
would.
would be counterintuitive to the whole purpose of what he's trying to do is save his fellow shinobi and the village as well to the best of his abilities.
Exactly.
If he got Pain outside of the village though somehow, some way, he'd fuck him up, no doubt, bro.
Agreed. Yeah,
Um,
I agree. So
Eighth gate especially, I'd
yeah,
say, yeah, eighth gate
yeah,
especially, yeah.
H8, yeah, 8 gate would one shot him. So How do you think children will be able to learn in the future? We're no longer in the infant stages of the internet. There's site services that do the work for you. Will homework finally be obsolete? That's a good question. That is a good observation as well, because the internet aids you in so many aspects. Um, I think there should be systems put in place to ensure a legitimate education. I think it's important that kids struggle with these concepts so that they truly learn what they're being taught. Um, if I had like choices of like implementing regulation, I would probably not have tablets and shit like that. I'd be old school
Mm-hmm.
pen and paper, to be
'Cause
honest.
you're
That's
not
just
learning anything.
yeah, you're not learning shit. You're
Regurgitating
just looking it
information on the
up.
internet. You know.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
probably can't completely deter that because they'll go home and they'll be have access to the internet. But I would try to limit that as much as possible. Do I think that's going to be a thing? I don't think so. I think the majority of educators aren't thinking about that.
It's a great question, though, man.
That's
I
a
actually
great
never thought
question,
about
though.
that.
That's a very
It
good
actually
question.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the U.S. will last 50 more years, or will we be number one in the next 50 years? Do I think the U.S. will last 50 more years? Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
do think it will last. Do you think we'll be number one? I don't know about that. There's definitely competition with other superpowers, Russia,
Yeah. Who knows, bro? Yeah.
China. Yeah, I think we're already not. If I'm not mistaken, we might already be behind China and a couple others, and as far as our
Economy?
our economy
Yeah.
standing. In
Uh-huh.
education, we're way down there. We're like way down there as far as educational success amongst the society in the United States.
As a percentage of people, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I got you.
Obviously, though, China has very strict means and I think unjust means of educating. They literally force fucking little kids to like learn bullshit. Like they deem what they're most talented for, which I think is extremely imposing and like tyrannical. But because of
Yeah,
that, they have
absolutely.
high education rates, high success rates. But I don't
I
think,
guess proof's in the pudding for those guys,
yeah,
despite the immorality of it all.
I just don't think the results justify the means, in my opinion. But
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I agree.
kids' homework doesn't make any sense to parents. Like math makes no sense to parents. Yeah,
It's so true, though, bro.
yeah, yeah,
They
exactly.
forget all that shit, bro.
They're
They're
like,
like,
how the
what the
fuck am
fuck
I?
do
I'm
you
not gonna be
have
able to
for
help
me?
you with fucking calculus. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for real, dog.
Unless you're like
Physics?
unless you're like an academia, you're not gonna be able to help your kid with that shit. Um, my high school teacher just told us the facts and his opinion. However, he was open to our thoughts and on the matter, which I think is how you should. That's good. That's how they should be. Yeah. Let's be
I mean,
honest.
honestly, if you're just cheating and like looking at Google to find your results for your homework, you're not really doing yourself a service because the point of homework is to like gather knowledge and then like be tested on it essentially. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Like
And if you aren't doing that, you're not learning or absorbing any information. So you're doing
exactly.
yourself a disservice by not actually taking homework seriously.
Yeah,
You
and
know? Just
what you should do as well, I think, besides deter, cheating, is you should try to show children the benefits of actually learning, like what comes with it. Um, like
Mhm.
incentivize them to actually want to learn. Very difficult when a 5-year-old kid is like all over the place, but you should definitely try to though. Um, I think that would be also benefit kids as well to want to learn and maybe not even cheat. So let's be honest, 8th gate guy is definitely at Suzuki level for sure. Would you say high? He's not even above
Whiskey level?
Jubidara. I don't think he's at Suzuki level.
Yeah.
He's below Jubidara. If you want to give him the benefit of the doubt, he is Jubidara. So I would say very, very, very low at Suzuki level if you want to give him that.
Like extremely low.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like very, very,
Because
very
like
low.
we had Madara could be considered like a low at Suzuki
Exactly.
level, but the one
Yeah.
that eighth gate guy fought wasn't even that, you know?
Yeah. So he would be probably clapped by like a true, authentic Otsutsuki. Um, what's up, guys? Just on my break. What's going on, Phantom Realm? Thanks for coming in once
That
again.
Phantom. What's up, bro?
Can you help me break down this down? I believe Gogeta versus Gogeta. I believe Gogeta is stronger because one Gogeta has 30 minutes and can use as much power as he wants without defusing. You can't break him out. So this is the $1 million question in Dragon Ball and has been for a long, long time. So the way I look at it is, it's hard to really fathom which one's better. If we just solely look at the empirical evidence, Gogeta has better feats right now.
Well,
But
yeah. The thing about the Gogeta thing is like you have to like equalize your powers to some extent. So someone to lower their key or power level to match the other ones in some
right,
regard. With the Potaro earrings, it doesn't matter about what your power level is at that current state. We just fucking fuse
Oh,
and we're
that's a
good to
good
go.
point.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
So you
Yeah.
you are limited to some degree when you do the fusion dance. Two, you do have a limited time as opposed to the Batara earrings as well. So I tend to go with Vegito on that, honestly.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying though. Like you can use as much as power as you want with Gogeta and not necessarily have to have a limited time parameter. But I just think with those two things I said, I think Vegito takes it though.
That's a good point. Yeah, the Vegito's prerequisites don't require equalized power levels. They could just straight up just mix, and whatever their power levels are at. Gogeta, the prerequisite to achieve that is they must equalize their powers for the dance, the fusion dance, to work. Um, that's a good point, actually. So theoretically, yeah, I probably would go with Vegito as well. I think Vegito probably would be more powerful than Gogeta. It'd be them at their most powerful fusing together.
And isn't the Batara at least an hour or something?
I
Unless they
think
like go like hella hard and
I
it's less
think
time.
so. I think that's what it's stated. Yeah, it's been a while since I've looked at that, but I think that's the
Yeah,
case.
same. Yeah.
Fusion second Vegeta one. You can break earring. That's true. You can't break the earrings. Two,
Yeah.
power drains of fusion. Okay. Three, finding a potato. So who wins? Because in a Vegeta fight, we'll have to use full power.
Yeah,
That's a
of
good
course.
point. The earrings, yeah, if they are removed, that's a problem. That's true. Um, so if that's achieved, then Vegeta would have a chance. But I think if we're just asking who's more powerful, probably Vegito. Um, who do you think the left indoctrinates? Why do you think the left indoctrinates young and impressionable people and are more successful than the conservative spectrum? That's an interesting question. So first part, why do I think they indoctrinate young, impressionable people? Because they can, because they don't have any verbal clash taking place. These kids are naive to the world. They don't understand the world yet. So it's easy to indoctrinate young kids because they don't know anything yet. They're still looking for their own identity, let alone their own political affiliation. So it's very, very easy targets, per se. And that's the way marketing works, really. Marketing depends on what's being marketed. The younger, the more naive, and the more impressionable. So they're just easier targets. You don't see, the extreme radical leftists going and talking to, an old veteran that was in the military for 20 years. Like, they're not going to have an easy time with him. He's probably conservative. But if they go up to like a 15-year-old kid in high school, much easier. They're still naive, still learning, etc. So that's why. And as far as why they're more successful than the conservative spectrum, I think that's debatable. I think a lot of the most successful individuals on the planet are actually conservative. Elon Musk, Bezos, Bill Gates is a fucking radical leftist. I'll admit that.
No doubt,
Yeah,
bro.
Tate, Joe Rogan, most successful athletes, most successful businessmen, I'd say, are conservative, or I would say
Really?
right winging. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think that on the grand spectrum, the left wing people are more successful empirically. Um, the timer is irrelevant though. Both would have to defuse in less than 5 minutes because they're mortal. Oh, is that so? Yeah, I need to look into that. Would you say
Yeah,
Super Saiyan?
nonetheless, none of them are permanent,
Yeah, none of them
definitely.
are. Yeah. Would you say Super Saiyan 4 is on blue level? Because every time they do a Heroes episode, a Dragon Ball promotion is always Super Saiyan 4 versus blue. So I can't really say that because I'm pretty sure Heroes is not canonical anyway.
Yeah, it's not.
It's more like
I didn't
fan
see
service.
Heroes though.
Yeah, it's cool though.
Hmm.
It's fan service, but because why is it always blue versus 4? Probably because that's what the fans want to see, I would assume.
Yeah, no
I
doubt,
got
bro.
I got something for you. Look up Modern Odyssey on YouTube. It's 10 minutes, no words, just pictures, and you can break them down. It'd be great content. Oh yeah, check that out. Modern Odyssey. You have the
Modern Odyssey.
you have the intellect to break that down. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, we'll check that out for sure. If Pain with all the six paths went to the Kage summit instead of Sasuke, would Pain would definitely beat all of them, right? Especially if Pain
Hmm.
fights them individually.
Hmm.
He probably would beat the Kage. Yes, I do think he'd
Yeah.
probably beat them, probably kill them. Yeah. The CEOs are conservatives. The PR and ad teams are woke. That's all you need to know. Facts. That's exactly the case. That's why
That's
Elon Musk
awesome,
had to.
dude.
That's why Elon Musk had to drain the swamp. He had to drain
That's
fucking.
hella funny.
That's definitely true. Exactly. Let's use the questions here though. Okay, we answered that. Is a hot dog a sandwich or a taco? I looked this up, and apparently, according to the Merriam-Webster definition, a hot dog is a sandwich because
That's so funny.
You know, it's such a
Or
weird topic.
taco.
But someone said
Yeah.
because the definition of sandwich is 2 or more slices of bread or a split roll having a filling in between. So I guess it's a sandwich. And I
Technicalities,
believe,
bro.
yeah, technically, semantically, that's what is established by like the official, I would say, entities of linguistics. So, yeah,
That's funny.
that's kind of that's
Well, then a
just,
corn dog wouldn't be a sandwich, then, right?
yeah, I don't think
Maybe
so.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, does the lightning blade give a damage amp or just a speed amp? Because Rasengan you can move freely, Chidori you can't. It's concentrate. So what's more lethal? Can I read that again? Does the lightning blade give a damage a amp or just a speed amp? Because Rasengan you can move freely, Chidori you can't. It's concentrated. So it gives both.
Equals MA, right?
Exactly.
So mass times acceleration, basic laws of order universe
Yeah,
apply to this
because
as well. Yeah.
if I touch you with a hammer, right, just touch you, it'll just hit your head. But if I full force swing a fucking pillow at you, it's probably gonna hurt more. That just kind of shows that speed does increase AP.
It does.
Yeah.
More
Rasengan
acceleration, the more force. Yeah,
exactly.
definitely.
Yeah. Rasengan can destroy a mountain. Yeah. If you take the data book statement of Jiraiya,
Hyperliterally.
hyperliterally, yeah. Chidori
That's
can
a massive one, though.
Yeah, but that's a massive one actually. Yeah, that's true. Chidori can pierce a
Yeah.
mountain, but what has more destructive power overall? Depends on the user as well.
Destructive
Power.
for. I'd say probably the Rasengan, though, right? I mean,
See, I
at
would
least what we
probably,
saw in
yeah,
part one,
I'd
especially.
probably lean towards that. It's been implied more than once. Yeah. I wasn't saying that the left is more successful. I already know that conservatives tend to be. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, let's continue on. Feel free to keep asking questions, folks. Again, it can be anything.
Your questions.
Yeah, we're enjoying the questions. This is probably one of the most political pods we've ever done in a long time.
Yeah, it's been
great. It's been great. It's been great to actually enjoy the political discussions. So you don't really see that in the anime community at all. So
not really, man.
It's very, very rare. What if Kishimoto is a hostage being forced or blackmailed into writing Boruto? I wouldn't be surprised because some of the writing decisions are very suspicious. Oh shit! Phantom with $30 fucking. God damn! Fucking goat, man. All right, let me put this on the screen real quick. That's some goat shit, bro. Give me a second though.
Hell yeah, dog.
Appreciate that, Phantom Realm. W's in the chat for all these for all these guys that have a bag and girl Alexa. So make sure you spam W, man, for these fucking goats. Give me a second though, folks, so I put this on the screen real quick. Let me see here. Damn, man. The screen is filled up with goats fucking donations. That's crazy.
Hey, man, that's awesome, dog. The background's so dope, too.
Yeah, I had to put an Itachi themed one. It's fucking dope.
Always.
Where's the picture at? Let's see. Oh, yeah, but we'll read your question right after, Phantom.
The craziest thing in Naruto. Yeah, man, definitely.
Yeah. All right, put this right there. Let's read your question real quick, Phantom. I appreciate that. I'm glad things like mythology and gods have a great possibility of not being real because of fear. With all of the monsters and crazy powerful gods in the world, everyone will be afraid. We already have enough things to fear. That's a good point, man. We're already scared of enough things as it is. If gods were real and shit, we'd all be shitting ourselves. It's definitely true. Especially, if these gods have the type of personalities people imply, where they're dangerous and they can get upset. Yeah, we do have enough things to fear. That's true. Natural,
absolutely.
Natural occurrences.
No, yeah, it's already a precedent in its existence that we live in sometimes, bro. To have some omnipresent deity above us or multiple of that would be fucking intimidating, to say the least.
Exactly. Yeah. We already have enough problems with government as it is, let alone a god, omnipotent being. So.
Literally, dude. Yeah.
I hear dinosaurs are running Boruto. Are running around in Boruto. Is that true? I think that's with the Sasuke novel. I'm not in the novel, and I think it was animated. I might be wrong. I haven't seen the anime in a long time.
Retsudan? Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was already animated. That's dope.
But apparently Sasuke was fighting a dinosaur or some shit, like an actual Triceratops or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not filler or anything. It's like actually canonical.
That's crazy. I don't think the pyramids were built man-made because of it was perfectly crafted in mathematical order. The way the rocks
Good.
were placed, how he also the fact that they're still standing. This is what I'll have to say about that. I think
Yeah.
sometimes we underestimate the 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 potential of innovation that humans have. But I understand the skepticism because it would require a massive human effort to create something of that stature when there was no technological advancements of today. There were no cranes, there were no giant machines that can lift tons for you. That's very true. So I could see the skepticism. Um,
I've heard so many theories, man. Like the actual stones or blocks, if you will, they're actually made out of like limestone or something, and the nearest source for that was like thousands of fucking miles away, and the
exactly.
slaves at that time were very malnourished and not really taken care of
Yeah.
at all. So
That's
that's
yeah.
already
That's what makes it
skeptical.
spect. Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it skeptical. Yeah.
And then like the preservation or erosion of the limestone indicates that it was actually built from the top down. There's really wild theories that kind of
Yeah.
coincide with like scientific rationale behind it.
Exactly. It's
But I agree. It's very interesting.
very suspicious. I do think theoretically it's possible there is a like an amazing human effort, sure, but I do see the skepticality behind it, the suspicion behind it, and that's why it's called one of the seven wonders of the world. It makes complete sense. Very very bizarre, very very bizarre.
The way they interact with like the lunar cycle, I believe, or something like
Yeah,
that. Everything's very this mystical about it.
yeah,
It is a
very
wonder of the world,
very
truly.
skeptical. Yeah, it's very very suspicious. Yeah, so I can definitely see the skepticism. Definitely very very it's very valid for sure. The fact they didn't have any advanced tech to make it man-made. The book says wooden barrels and ropes. That's bullshit. Yeah, it's theoretically possible, but very, very difficult to achieve. Um,
Hmm. Absolutely.
yeah, I heard that there's like falling angels that hide in the ocean mountains. um, I would
Hey
say
man,
this: I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm not an absolute realist because again, there's no such thing as absolutism in this imperfect
thank you,
world. So
thank you. Yeah.
I if there's things that are extremely ambiguous and unknown, I don't disregard people's takes on things at all. So
Hmm.
truly. So men would die by the second building those 700-foot pyramids. Yeah, yeah, it's very
And
very
then, again, Cavelli, it goes back to what you're saying about history, bro. Like, how was it actually recorded? How are we being portrayed as information thousands of years later?
exactly. That's a
So
good point. That's a
all
good
that
point.
leads to ambiguity, man. It's just like that's why we're figuring out this shit still today. You
Yeah, and
know,
I would say as far as history, there's probably an inevitable event where information is not passed through generations correctly. I'm sure that's happened with several pieces
hmm
of information where it's kind of a butchered version of it. It gets lost in translation. We don't get a specific, perfect representation of history. So I absolutely,
verbatim.
yeah, it's not
Yeah,
verbatim. I guarantee that thousands of years of history passed down through generations is not in verbatim right now. Guarantee it.
yeah.
So
It's like the classic example. Like you write a note, you pass it down to 20 people behind you. The
exactly.
person at the end of it who tries to retranscribe is going to be completely different than the original person, essentially. So
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
In
Yeah.
an imperfect world, with time comes change inevitably. So there's certainly differences. I guarantee it. So
Yeah.
I do admit that. Let's see. People okay from heat stress lack of true strength. Yep. It's the Sasuke student manga. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. I've studied lots of different monsters in many mythologies, and they're so vicious and dangerous. But with the bad ones, there's some good. Of course, there's always that dichotomy in religion between the bad and the good. Um, Superman versus
It has
Martian
to be.
Manhunter. From my understanding of the DC comics, at least in most continuities, Superman is like the physical superior. Not to say Martian Manhunter is not powerful. He does have some interesting hacks, like he can read your mind and shapeshift and go through objects, like phasing through them. But I think Superman would probably defeat Martian Manhunter, in most continuities at least. Do you believe we have a Gorosei controlling the world, just like One Piece? I'm not familiar with One Piece, so
What was it?
do you believe we have a Gorosei controlling the world? I think that's how you say it.
I
Controlling the
don't know what
world,
that
just like
is.
One Piece. Yeah, I'm not
I know
sure.
One Piece, but I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
You think the reason religion and stories of gods are a thing is because since glasses were not a thing thousand millions of years ago, it's because no one had glasses and people had blurry vision. I see what you mean. They're basically just trying to rationalize what they're seeing. I'm sure. I'm sure that's definitely a reason. Most definitely. They couldn't prove things. They had to. Humans are inherently curious, so the only failsafe they have is just intuition and theory. So that's absolutely valid. That's definitely possible. Let's see. Keep asking questions, guys. We'll go for a little longer, and we appreciate all the questions. Let's continue on though. Blockbuster trade
event tonight.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure. We're definitely gonna give our take on them before we depart on the UFC event. What if Kishimoto is? Oh, I just read that. Blockbuster trades in the NBA right now. Oh yeah, there's been tons of them, man. Tons of them taking place.
Great, dog.
The biggest one is probably Durant to the Suns. I never expected that in 100 years. That was insane. That's gonna be an interesting dynamic.
I never would have expected that either.
Never.
Kyrie to Mavericks is interesting too.
That's very interesting. We might get like a very similar LeBron Kyrie duo because I think Doncic is very similar to LeBron in many ways. I think that they're gonna have an interesting dynamic there, and I think they're gonna win a lot. Honestly, as long as Kyrie stays consistent, of course.
Yeah, of course. I don't even know any other players on the Mavericks besides Luka and Kyrie right now, dude. To be honest,
exactly.
Bro.
Yeah, they don't really have.
I can't even name the starting five. Like,
me either, honestly. So I think that's gonna be.
Lakers are cool.
Lakers are cool. Too. Yeah, that should be okay. Do I think they get to the finals? Probably not. Yeah, it's very unlikely. LeBron's legacy is another question. I think, in my opinion, he's the greatest of all time. But I know there's gonna be MJ fans saying like, "Shut the fuck up." So I understand. MJ's killer mentality and his accolades are extremely, extremely impressive. But I would say LeBron to me is just the better player overall. In my opinion, he's overall the better player.
Yeah. I don't think you can say about Michael at this point is that he has more rings or like he won them at a like higher win-loss ratio, if you will. Ratio, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it's like who cares? Like Kareem has the most, right? Or not rings, but like, does he have more rings? No.
He has the same as Bill Russell has the most.
No, does Kareem have the same amount as Michael Jordan though?
Yeah, he has the same. He does. Yeah, he has 6. Yeah.
Okay. And no one considers him the GOAT, even though he has like all the most MVPs and like
six MVPs
for
6 MVPs
all-time scoring. Yeah, so
I think he's underrated a lot. I think to me he's top 3, right after MJ and Jordan. He's right there.
No doubt, I'm with you on that completely, bro.
Yeah, no one really speaks like they never give him his props, man. Like he's an all-time great.
Same with Tim Duncan, kind of underrated.
Yeah, very underrated. To me, is by far the best power forward ever. We could say that. I think he's the best power forward ever. I think he's arguably top 5, definitely top 10 in my opinion. Definitely up there, and there should be more respect shown to him as well. Let's see here. One Piece is a great watch. It's just very long. Oh, I've heard it's very fucking long. I watched an anime only an episode.
On episode 1030, I think, bro. It's just like
so long.
Dude.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Kakashi versus Kashi and Koji, the fight lasted longer. Kakashi, it depends how you interpret Kakashi's scaling. If you interpret the novels as canonical, maybe you'd have a chance. I just think I don't think that narratively holds because he's not relevant at all during all that. So I would probably lean towards Koji, but again, we'll never know.
Yeah.
So
I also just don't think it's fair to like scale Koji directly to Jigen too. That's like pretty like disingenuous.
That's yeah, exactly.
Because it took a lot of prep and like
and he still failed.
There's a lot of context.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So
Kyrie is insane right now. Yeah, Kyrie. I feel like he's a borderline narcissist. He cares about himself a lot. As soon as he feels like he's not getting the credit he deserves or he thinks he deserves, he like departs. Happened in Cleveland, now happening in Brooklyn. Like, to me, Kyrie isn't.
He's like,
yeah,
he's constantly moving though, bro, and it just seems like he's not really like a chemistry kind of guy for a lot of people.
He's not.
He's getting hate shamed so much for the that book he's shared on the anti-Semitic.
Oh the anti-Semitic. Yeah. I think
Amazon still has it on their website, and they're getting no backlash. So I'm like, wait, What
Yeah,
is this,
that's
dude?
kind of
It's like,
strange. Yeah, that's kind of strange.
yeah.
I don't think Kyrie's a leader, honestly. I don't. I think that he's a very, very good second option, but he's no LeBron
Hmm.
or he's no LeBron. He's no MJ. He's no Curry. As far as intangible
Number
leadership
one.
aspects, yeah, he's not.
Yeah, I
Very good
agree, bro.
player though, but he has a lot of shit he has to figure out. I feel like mentally. Um, so next question here. What someone said, I think LeBron has a better overall player, but I still have MJ as a go to do his impact on the world and accomplishments. Again, it depends on your criteria. If you want to talk about impact, then sure.
Oh, dude. I
But
mean, LeBron's a great humanitarian though as well,
yeah, of
bro. You
course,
have to
yeah,
admit.
he
You
is a
know,
very
but
good
yeah, I see
humanitarian.
you, bro. Yeah,
I just think LeBron, as far as basketball, X's and O's, he's a better player overall. MJ might be a better scorer, arguably, but I think overall LeBron's better. Super Bowl predictions. So this Super Bowl is interesting. I like that they're mixing it up.
definitely.
So we have Mahomes versus Hurts. I think that the thing about Mahomes is that in the biggest games, the two Super Bowls he played in, he didn't play very well. I think he has 2 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, not the best ratio. And his defense saved him more than once in the against the Niners.
No,
So
absolutely.
I think Hurts has a chance, but I still lean towards the Chiefs because Mahomes has matured more. He has Travis Kelce in his prime, and they're just shitting on every defense they encounter. I don't think the Eagles' defense is that good. I think it's all right, but I
They're
think
pretty solid.
but I think the offense of the Eagles has carried a lot. They score a lot of points.
Hmm.
I lean towards the Chiefs, but I'm not gonna be surprised if the Eagles win. Honestly, I think Jalen is
Yeah,
pretty clutch.
I
So
agree. And it doesn't seem like a Mahomes has like what's if like an ankle injury, as
yeah,
indicated by his last game. He did quite well
he did.
despite
Yeah,
that. Hurts has like that hurt shoulder, I guess, but it doesn't seem to be like that big of an issue right now,
yeah, he
too.
seems to be good as well. Yeah,
I just think the Chiefs defense, like the Eagles are a run first team, and I don't think they're really like suited for that. They're great for like pass protection,
exactly.
but I think the Eagles run game might be different in this. I don't know. It's gonna be a great one nonetheless. So
It's gonna be very
I'm
good.
actually excited.
Yeah, that's actually a very good Super Bowl. One of the best in a while. It got boring when it was
3 at
fucking.
halftime.
Oh, that's not bad at
That's
all.
funny.
That's not bad
Yeah,
at
I'm
all. Yeah,
chilling, dude. She was
but
batty, bro.
she's bad. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Kakashi's speed is the only thing that matches him up with top tiers. Kakashi is faster than Minato. It's arguable. Definitely DMS Kakashi, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
And possibly Boruto Kakashi as well. Possibly depends on your interpretive scaling.
I wish we had more on him,
Yeah, I really do. He's non-existent basically in Boruto.
especially in the manga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I have MJ as top one, but I respect others' opinion if they have it wrong because he also accomplished a lot. But MJ has an advantage in defense scoring. Um, MJ. Here's the thing, though. If you want to be technical, LeBron in his prime could guard all 5 positions. MJ's not guarding a center. So I'll say that. But as far as their productivity when doing defense, you could argue MJ's a little more impactful. I
Dude,
agree.
MJ had like 7 scoring titles, though. I mean, like,
Oh,
homie was a fucking machine,
he was a
bro.
G.
Like,
In scoring, he's a
will give you
G. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I think he does have the advantage in scoring. I'll give you that. Besides 3-point shooting, I think LeBron's a better 3-point shooter than MJ, and that's shown statistically as well. But if you want to be fair, the 3-point shot was
Prime
very
LeBron?
popular. Yeah, prime LeBron. Yeah.
Definitely.
But
Unfortunately,
overall,
this year he's like almost dead last, dude. It's kind of sad.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, he's not doing very well this year.
No.
He's like 143rd
So
out of
sad.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
He keeps shooting it though. Give him that. He's like consistent, like trying to shoot up, like throw up 3-point shots a lot. But Kakashi is not really faster than Minato in the war until DMS. I could agree with that. Minato was like reacting and throwing kunai before Kakashi's using Kamui without Sage mode. Good point. By the way, Joe, what do you think about Kobe or Tim Duncan? Who's better overall and a complete player? That's a good question. Kobe or Tim Duncan?
Damn.
Now, Kobe, I would say, is probably a better scorer than Duncan overall. Duncan is just Mr. Fundamentals, like they call him, though. He's Mr. Fundamentals. Him and Robinson used to be the Twin Towers. I remember that.
A hard one, bro.
That's a tough one. That's a very, really, really tough one. That's a tough one, yeah. Really tough to really
I would
choose.
say, I want to like, I mean, yeah, I'll let you go first because, like, yeah.
I would probably go with me personally. It's tough, but I might give the slight edge to Duncan. I just think he's been more.
Yeah,
I think he was more consistent in his career than Kobe, in my opinion. Um, it's a tough one though.
I think Kobe is like he's a highlight player. Like he can go on
Oh
these
yeah,
tears that are just like historical tears.
absolutely,
Um,
yeah,
he'll ever be like, and he's created a culture. He's created a lot of like cultural appreciation for basketball.
yeah. He's
But
definitely
I
more
think
impactful than Duncan for sure.
yeah. But your question was overall, and as Jay said, I think fundamentally and the the asset that he attributed towards the Spurs after their dynasty was like it was pivotal. You know, Kobe did have Shaq. He did have some like
Exactly. Yeah.
people on that caliber to get the rings that he did. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the slight nod to Duncan as well. But I hate it because I love Kobe
Yeah, I
so
really like
much.
Kobe as well. Yeah, he's all time great though, nonetheless.
Yeah,
Um,
no doubt.
do you think Marvel is taking a good route or a bad route? If you mean the MCU, they've kind of stumbled. I'm not gonna lie, the last Doctor Strange movie was kind of ass. The last Thor movie was kind of ass, and the last good movie was probably Spider-Man: Far No Way From Home. I think it was called with the
Dude, Thor
Spider-Mans.
was ass,
It was
bro.
dog shit. Yeah, I was like, what the hell is this?
Holy
What
shit, that was
happened?
horrible.
They've dropped the.
Dog.
They've definitely dropped the ball lately. So right now they're on a bad route. They're really gonna have to rebound, and they're really gonna have to rebound and do something. I'm kind
That
of
was an
disappointed.
atrocity, bro. What are
Yeah,
they doing?
exactly. Like I don't know what that was. MJ has a better peak than LeBron. I could agree with that. Maybe in the when they were three-peating twice, but overall it's hard to argue against LeBron. Who knows? It's
It's
close.
hard to argue.
It's
Yeah, of
close.
course. Absolutely.
I think MJ's time when he was dominant was more dominant than LeBron in his peak. I mean, there was a year where he won like every award in 1 year, like the dunk contest champion, defensive player of the year, something like that, scoring title, final MVP, final ring. Like Jesus, he won a shitload of stuff. Like yeah, he's very very dominant.
I
Um,
will say this though, Jay. Like, I think it was a lot harder to actually score points
I
at
agree
such
with
a high
that.
level back then too,
I
because like
agree.
foul calling was not really a thing. You know, like you
Agreed.
can get away with a lot more back then too.
Way
So
more, especially like against
yeah,
the Pistons when they were like shitting on him and he had to like put on some muscle. Yeah, it definitely much.
literally
Their literal game plan was just to fucking foul Michael. That was their fucking game plan.
for
Yeah.
real. Yeah,
So you can't stop him. Just foul him. That's what they were saying. Like
just
it's
abuse them, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he still beat them. So that's crazy. But Patrick Ewing, I think, was there. I'm not actually no Rodman. That was before Rodman came to the Bulls. Isaiah Thomas, like dude, killers. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
if you could debate someone like Destiny, how do you think you would fare? I think I would hold my own for sure. It depends what we're debating. Of course, if it's anime, he'll probably lose. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't know shit about anime now. Um, politically, I honestly think I'd give him a good one if it's on the red pill because I'm not gonna get emotional. I'm gonna stick to the facts, statistics only. I think I would do well. Because again, people remember that just because someone's popular doesn't mean that they're the epitome of, intellectual discussion. Just remember that. But I do think Destiny's very, very good. I think I'd do well though. I do. And I think I'd beat
Yeah, man.
Hassan for sure. Hassan would lose easily. I
Hell
think
yeah,
many
dude.
guys in this community would beat him. Many guys.
Get the smoke.
Yeah. But honestly, obviously, if I'm debating someone like Jordan Peterson, I'm probably gonna have a very, very hard time. Very hard time. I'll probably lose in most topics and as far as philosophy right now. He's much more experienced, much more knowledgeable, can adapt. He's very like someone
He's
like
been on
that.
the block, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Ben Shapiro. I mean, you got to be world class to beat someone like that. I mean, he was on the Harvard debate team, like the number
Who
one.
could probably beat them is like I think Seth could probably beat him easily.
Yeah, I think Seth could beat Ben Shapiro. I do.
Yeah, bro.
I think he could beat a guy that was, in the debate team at the number one academic institution in the world. I think Seth would beat
Just
that guy.
insults him the whole time, bro.
That's
You
literally what he
know?
would fucking do. uh, Kobe Bryant is better than Tim Duncan, arguably. Yeah, arguably he is.
It's arguable. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Kobe for
Definitely, bro.
me. Duncan was a better winner and leader. He can sacrifice his pay. Yeah, that's true.
I did respect that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's highly respectable.
Very noble. Yeah.
Saiyan Saga Vegeta versus Boruto, Naruto, and Sasuke. I think Vegeta would lose, especially if
Yeah,
you're talking
same here,
about
bro.
Baryon mode Naruto. Yeah.
hmm
If if
Especially
someone
Boruto. I
yeah
mean, Barry on. Sorry. Yeah.
if someone paid you to review of anime with Seth, would you do it for money? If you're
Come
paying
on,
me to
dog.
roast, if you're paying me to roast him, I'll do it. But I'm not gonna be like, yeah, this is great scaling. Not right now. Fuck Seth right now.
Well, let's say if someone paid you a milli to do
Oh
that
shit, a
video,
milli? Ah,
straight
damn.
milli on it, bro. Come on.
If it was a milli just to react to the content, maybe. Just the content. I wouldn't speak
No,
on
actually
Seth.
do a video with him, collab, like
Oh,
straight
a
up collab.
collab? Ah, fuck,
A
man.
fat milli though on it, dog.
A
What you
milli?
doing?
I might. I don't know. I might have to stick to my principles, man. Because fuck Seth.
Money makes you think, bro. I know, dude. I
Yeah.
know. I feel you. Fuck
Yeah,
Seth, though,
I
bro.
probably would stay. I'll probably say fuck Seth, even for the money. To be honest.
Good for
Yeah.
you, dog.
Yeah.
A milli though?
But
Damn.
to react to Seth shit, I would do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Destiny in debate just runs around in circles and evades your hard hitting questions and tries to overtalk you. Yeah, I think I'd probably beat Destiny. Destiny like to have you focus on what you're saying and what he's not saying. Like you'll prove a point to Destiny and say a word and throw off the conversation. Red herring, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seth
Tactical
isn't.
red herring.
Yeah, Seth isn't a high class debater. He just states his opinion as fact. He does do that a lot. Yeah. And I've never heard him debate a top tier debater before. So there's that
Yeah,
as
he always
well.
puts himself in a winning favorable position
Yeah,
as
and
well. So
he
like,
would make sure to set up winning conditions. Like he makes sure that
yeah,
he's gonna win. You know, like apparently the
he,
story is that he would make other people debate people that he was actually intimidated by just to make himself look better. That's what he would do. Like Aeroflame and Six would debate like other guys that he was intimidated by. So when they beat those guys, he could say, "Well, I'm better than Aeroflame, so I'll beat him too." Like that's what he used to do. So it's just
yeah.
fake as that's fake as fuck. So, are you going to keep up the Seth video you already reacted to? Yes, I am because like I'm in the same position as Swag is. It's gonna hurt like my algorithm and all kinds of things if I do that because a lot of my
Yeah.
video catalog is Seth. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it up. I'm not gonna react to any of his new shit. Fuck that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep up the old videos.
In the past now, bro. Right?
Let the past be the past. Yeah.
Yeah.
About 4 more minutes, folks, because we have a fight to observe. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, give me our take. Give me my take on that. Might as well. The UFC 284 for you fight fans. We got Islam Makhachev, which is Khabib 2.0, versus Alexander Volkanovski, who I think is very, very skilled. So my take on this is Islam is going to take him down. There's no way about it. We've seen Alex get been taken down. Now the question is, how good will his defense be? There's that. I think Alexander's extremely explosive, good center of gravity, but I do think he will be taken down. I think he's at a huge disadvantage if he's on the ground for too long. He's gonna have to. I think he's a better striker than Islam. Honestly, he's world class as far as kickboxing. Arguably the best striker, only second to Israel himself, Adesanya. So he's gonna have to keep it on the feet as much as possible. He's gonna have to explode every time Islam tries to go for a double leg or a single leg. He's gonna have to explode, most definitely. So I do think that Islam is probably going to win. I do think his strike is good enough to contend with Alex. Maybe not outstrike the guy, but to contend. And the very fact that the takedown threat will always present itself for 5 rounds
Absolutely. Yeah.
is gonna make Alex second think. He's gonna think. What's the word I'm looking for? He's going to think again about what to do because we saw that with Conor and Khabib. Conor's obviously a better striker than Khabib, but why was Khabib able to fucking drop him? Because he was scared of the takedown. That was always a threat. It lowers your focus on what you're doing. It makes you hesitate with punches, kicks, feints, hip feints, shoulder feints. You're gonna hesitate because if you make one wrong move, you're on the ground and you're fucked. That's what happened with Conor. That's why Conor got dropped. People were like, "Oh, is Khabib a better striker than Conor?" No, he's not. But the very threat of the takedown implies that your striking is not going to be what it usually is against a striker because you're not worrying about that. So I think that's going to be a big problem for Alex. I really do, and I don't think he's going to be able to deal with it for long. I probably think Islam either gets a finish in the third or fourth, or it goes to decision, and Islam wins by just mauling him. That's probably what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I think he had to be more than prepared to go and try to counteract all the threats against takedowns in the first place, knowing he's going to fight him.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
like Yes, I think that's his only disadvantage, honestly. And so I think with his takedown offense being hopefully amped to a significant degree in preparation and also striking game, I think he'll definitely be able to be a favorable winner to decide upon on this matchup. But I think it's going to be a good one,
I do
nonetheless.
think
So
it's going to be a good fight, though. It's going to be interesting. And who knows? Maybe I'm wrong,
yeah,
and maybe Alex
who
does
knows?
defend them. Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
mean,
be surprised by
Adesanya,
that. Yeah.
yeah. I expect Adesanya to lose that fight, and look what happens. So
Yeah,
like, you never know
exactly.
what happens in this sport,
And
bro.
even
Never
Izzy was able to deter Derek Brunson's takedowns years ago. And Derek Brunson's world class wrestler. I remember when Izzy mollywopped fucking Derek Brunson and knocked his ass the fuck out because Derek
know.
couldn't take him down, and that motherfucker can
As he
wrestle
should.
too. Yeah. So we'll
Nice.
find out. I'm not gonna lie. My mind says Islam, but my heart says Volk. I like both of them though. I like both guys, but
Oh yeah,
yeah. But I
they're
kind of want Alex
savages.
to win. But I do think Islam's gonna win though. But yeah, folks, we'll do 2 or 3 more questions and we'll depart. Make sure to hit the wrong one. Sorry about that. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the sub button if you're new to these. We're gonna do all kinds of streams, tier lists, call-in shows, these kinds. Who knows? Maybe we'll even react to shit live if you guys want that. If someone pays, we'll react to random shit, stuff like that. Could the mystery gang solve the Kira case? Based off what I know, and the very fact that that's what they're known for, they have a ton of empirical evidence to suggest, and it's a gag reel show, probably.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can solve anything if they put their mind to it. It seems like, dude,
Oh
that's
yeah.
like the
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a
So
funny question though. I love it.
yeah, it's definitely a funny question. Shaggy's, he could transcend reality sometimes. So, yeah, I probably would solve it.
That's hella funny, dude.
W Muslim, yeah, W Muslims, W Islam, straight beasts. Dagestanians, W Dagestanians, man, those guys are fucking
For
monsters.
real.
They're
That
fucking.
wrestling forum is
They
insane.
build warriors in that fucking region of the world. Islam, Khabib. There's like some other guy named like Uzmar Nurmagomedov. I think he's like related to Khabib. He's also a fucking monster.
Wow.
Kamzat. I think Kamzat's from Dagestan. I'm not sure. There's some other guy. I forgot his name as well. He fights at 135. He's a fucking beast too. I forgot his name though, but he's a monster as well. So yeah, Dagestanians are fucking monsters, man. They're just killers. So
You said you're going to stream this, perhaps, or
it's gonna be. I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna stream it in the Discord. Obviously not here because we'll get banned, but in my Discord
yeah, of
server.
course.
Yeah, my
Nice.
Discord server.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna hang out. We'll hang out with people who want to watch it with us, and
Fuck yeah,
yeah,
dude.
it's gonna be dope. I think that's it, folks. We appreciate you guys coming in. I think next week is probably gonna be more than likely a tier list. Who knows? Maybe I'll redo the Naruto one because I kind of fucked up last time because I got lazy and started randomly placing people. It was like months and months ago by myself. So maybe this time we'll do a thorough tier list of
Yeah.
Naruto characters from weakest to strongest. That's probably what we're gonna do next week. So we hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Appreciate you guys coming in, and thanks for all the donations. It's fucking goats, man. All you guys are goats, and we'll catch you in the next one, folks. We appreciate you guys coming in. Peace out,
Thanks,
guys.
guys. Hell
It's
yeah.
a W stream. That they done a lot.